Anniversary of the Inflation Reduction Act, which Senior Advisor John Podesta says is tackling the climate crisis.
The largest investment in clean energy and climate action ever in the United States, in the history of the world.
Podesta also insisting the bill has reduced some costs for families, though recent estimates say the bill itself could cost much more than first expected. A former fundraiser for Congressman George Santos is indicted on federal charges. Sam Mealy accused of impersonating a high-ranking congressional aide in a scheme to defraud Santos campaign donors. Santos, a freshman New York Republican, is not charged, but has pleaded not guilty in a separate case. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What he'll do if he's in the White House. Sunny and 79 in downtown Indianapolis. All clear on your radar. Low of 61 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. Restoring the idea of federalism is one of Mike Pence's goals as he continues to run for president.
And he spoke in Indianapolis on Wednesday. I'm John Herrick. He says the federal government has too much power and the states need to get some of that back.
We're going to repeal all Obamacare mandates and give states the power to implement health care assistance programs to the benefit of their people to reduce the cost of health insurance.
If elected, he says, among other things, he would get rid of the Federal Department of Education and convert all federal housing programs to state-administered block grants. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The three men who were found dead inside of an SUV parked outside of an IPS middle school Monday are suspected to have died from overdoses, says IMPD. They were found across the street from Jonathan Jennings School 109. A fourth man was also found alive. Police say he was intoxicated. They sent him to a hospital. 70 Central Indiana firefighters from Indiana Task Force 1 are heading to Hawaii to help with search and rescue efforts after wildfires in Maui last week. An exact date for their departures not been set yet. CBD retailers are feeling the strain of an opinion from Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita. He claims that CBD and Delta-8 qualify as Schedule I drugs, which would make them illegal.
There's been several counties across the state that are, the prosecutors and the police are coming in and basically telling these people that they're criminals.
Shadi Corey, who manufactures CBD products, says his stores are getting more visits from police. Both CBD and Delta-8 are legal to sell in Indiana. A Veteran Affairs clinic in northern Indiana has officially been renamed in honor of a former Hoosier congresswoman. The Jackie Walorski VA clinic in Mishawaka was unveiled Wednesday. Congressman Rudy Yakum said Jackie fought tirelessly for veterans during her time in Congress, saying the honor was a fitting tribute to her legacy. Walorski died in a car crash last summer. Traffic and weather's next. Your time is 3:04.
Hey, it's Rob. I started losing hair around my crown, and my hairline was starting to recede. I went to We Grow Hair Indy, and they helped grow my hair back. My friend Dave First, a sports broadcaster for over 20 years, also struggled with hair loss. Dave, what happened?
My thinning hair was bothering me. For me, I'm in the public eye. I'm a dad also, and I want to look and feel my best. And if I'm going to do something about my hair, I want to go with the best. We Grow Hair Indy. They really set the standard.
Dave, that's amazing. I had the same procedure, multi-unit hair grafting transplants, which gives you more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Call 317-522-2995 for your free hair and scalp evaluation. Find out if hair transplants or PRP is right for you.
If you're thinking about this, don't waste your time or money. Go to the experts.
Call 317-522-2995, 522-2995, or visit WeGrowHairIndy.com, the gold standard for hair restoration.
With traffic on the 5s at 3:05, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, looking at southbound 69 right now. Slow traffic, 96th Street down to 82nd. And we do have a vehicle fire on the exit ramp from southbound 65 to West 71st Street on the northwest side. Fire appears to be out right now. Again, that's southbound 65 to 71st. Traffic sponsored by Dell Technologies. The Dell Technologies back-to-school event starts now with savings on select PCs powered by the latest Intel Core processor. Save today at Dell.com/deals. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Mostly to completely sunny skies as we move into the afternoon. Evening hours will continue clear on this Wednesday. Perfect conditions outside for a calm, comfortable, and cool evening. Low temperature near the 60-degree mark. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Renee Sutis for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
I think one of the funniest parts about this fourth Trump indictment is that some idiot leaked the charges against Donald Trump before the grand jury actually voted to indict Donald Trump. So the grand jury could have said, no, I don't want we'll indict him on this charge and this charge and this charge, but we're not going to indict him on this charge and the other charges. They leaked everything on the government website before the grand jury had even voted, Hammer.
Right. And it wasn't like it was just something that anybody could figure out. There were some interesting charges brought forth on Donald Trump. We're talking about the RICO stuff, the racketeering, not just things that the average legal clerk would think, I'm just doing a practice run here on. And that's the excuse we're getting right now. The Fulton County, Georgia legal clerk, Che Alexander, this is the woman's name. She was the one who leaked it all out online before the grand jury voted. She spoke to an Atlanta TV station.
I am human. I have no dog in the fight. I did a work sample in the system. And when I hit save, it went to the press queue. It wasn't an official document. It wasn't official charges. It was the dry run. It was a work sample.
It was a work sample that was basically spot on. So you're telling me that if you're just doing a sample, a test basically, to make sure that everything is functioning properly, things are saving, you know how to put the racketeering and the RICO on there? Do you normally do that during saves? That seems a little fishy to me. If that's tinfoil hat worthy, I don't know, but I just find it odd. Allison, if you were going to do a test run of saving things on the Hammer and Nigel show, you would probably do the things that we just do all the time. Is this anything? Legal stuff. But there wouldn't be RICO racketeering and all bunch of things that don't normally happen, right?
Correct, yes.
So we're expected to buy this excuse of, I was just practicing.
I mean, literally hours before the grand jury hadn't voted to any of these charges, to indict any of these charges. But the court posted and then deleted immediately this document that resembled the final indictment. You understand what I'm saying here? That may have violated Trump's rights and could at the very least suggest a quote-unquote rigged process here.
I mean, which is probably why they're trying to get out in front of this and putting Che Alexander on television, and she's trying to make it look like, hey, this happens, I take my work seriously, I just hit the wrong button, that's all that it was. Okay, fine, I get that. People make mistakes. But this is such a unique list of charges, and it was almost spot on.
It resembled the final indictment, for sure.
100%. So a lot of people commenting on that and the indictments as a whole. Friend of the show, Newt Gingrich, former Speaker of the House, one of the brightest political minds out there. He has this fun, spirited, uplifting message about the future of our country.
And now we have Joe Biden, who's learned. He's learned from Obama that doesn't matter what you do, if you're a liberal Democrat, you will not be prosecuted. He learned from Hillary that a person in high public office can get millions and millions of dollars. And they learned from watching Donald Trump that a true outsider willing to take on the entire system could destroy their entire machine. So what you're seeing across the country is a desperate last-ditch effort by a corrupt machine to destroy their most dangerous opponent in a way which not only breaks the Constitution, destroys the rule of law, and establishes a moment of bitterness, which I think will last for a generation or more. I think this is going to be a horrendous period, and we just need to understand the people who want to control America and dictate to the rest of us will break any law, lie about any topic, and manipulate the system any way they can, and that includes a lot of the elite news media.
Who's ready for margaritas?
Oh, boy. Wow, I'm going to go back there to the bar, start doing shots.
The thing is, he's right, though.
He's absolutely right. I mean, what's it going to look like if, like January 6th looked like a picnic if they indict Trump and throw him in jail. Even worse, what if he's elected president and they throw him in jail? What if you have Joe Biden actively trying to put his political opponent in jail? That is third world, banana republic, Venezuela type stuff.
And they're getting away with it.
Right there.
And the key part about what Newt said right there at the very end that I thought was really important, the media is a part of this. The national media, probably about 90%, hate Donald Trump with the passion of a million fires. And they're playing ball with this. Like, look at the coverage or the lack thereof of the Devin Archer testimony. Nobody is saying that anything he said was wrong or incorrect. But this past weekend, ABC, CBS, NBC, 0 minutes covering that. That's a big deal. This business partner of Hunter coming out and saying they lied. I'm here to tell you that they lied. They knew about the business going on and the money funneling in, and nothing. Crickets from the majority of the mainstream media. Here is the senator from Missouri, Josh Hawley.
This is an effort by the ruling party, the Democrat Party, across states and the federal government to make sure that anybody who criticizes them gets indicted. And it's not just Trump, although they're focused on Trump. It's also Catholics who have had their parishes infiltrated. It's also pro-life demonstrators who've had SWAT teams sent to their doors. It's also those who have protested peacefully, who've had the FBI show up and knock at their doors. It's parents who've gone to school board meetings and now been labeled domestic terrorists by the Biden administration. I never thought we'd see any of this in American history. We've seen all of it.
Actually, I wonder you tell me what would be worse in terms of divisiveness and riots and protests is if Donald Trump gets incarcerated or Donald Trump gets elected and is the president of the United States. So a segment of this country, I believe, that would make the 2020 Summer of Love look like I said earlier, a picnic if Donald Trump is actually elected president of the United States. They're not going to let it happen.
Well, we saw that in January of 2017 on Inauguration Day.
Absolutely we did. Mostly peaceful protests then, huh?
Mostly peaceful.
A lot of damage.
Things went mostly peaceful pretty damn quick that day, if I remember right.
Police injured as well, sure.
One of my favorite senators, just because of the sound bites he gives, is John Kennedy of Louisiana.
Yeah.
Here are his thoughts on what's happening in our country right now.
Regardless of what you think about President Trump, this is unprecedented. So, I mean, this is the sort of thing that happens in countries whose Powerball jackpots is 387 chickens and a goat. I mean, we don't do that in America.
387 chickens and a goat. This is what happens in countries who have a Powerball jackpot like that. John Kennedy of Louisiana.
I'm going to have to think about that for a second.
If you won that jackpot, would you get them all at once in a lump sum, or would you spread out the chickens and the goats?
Year by year.
Speaking of the media and folks reacting on the media to Donald Trump, Vivek Ramaswamy. Now, this is a guy that's kind of going up in the polls right now. Mostly he's in third place if you look at the overall averages, but there are some places where he's in second place behind Donald Trump. He jumped on Fox to talk about the indictments.
The way we win elections in this country, at least the way it should be, is that we convince the voters of this country of our vision and what we stand for. And that's why I've said that I would pardon, at least for the federal crimes, I would pardon Donald Trump to help move this nation forward. I am focused, for example, on your economic message. That's what we actually need to be talking more about, less about these politicized indictments that have distracted us from the fundamental issue. That's the fault of the Biden DOJ and a lot of the Democrat prosecutors across this country, instead of explaining why Bidenomics is actually a farce. It is a failure with actual more job openings in this country than there are people looking for work. Price increases that are indeed permanent when wages have not gone up over the same period. That is how we're going to win this election in a landslide. That's what I want us talking about. But I will be unabashed about standing on the side of principle when I say, yes, these prosecutions are wrong.
So that's a pretty well thought out take right there. He delivered that on Fox. But the problem is the anchor, the reporter doing that interview was Neil Cavuto.
Oh, big never Trumper.
Dude hates Donald Trump. Hates him with a capital H. Here is Neil Cavuto clapping back a little bit.
But I can understand that. But there are 91 criminal charges in all, Vivek, as you're aware, over 4 criminal cases. They can't all be politicized, can they? I mean, there's something that the former president must have done in any one of these that struck you as wrong, if not illegal.
I think, Neil, just because the government has brought a case, if we're going to be a culture that now starts to say there must be something wrong, if the government has charged 91 counts, I think that's a people of sheep. And when the people behave like sheep, that breeds a government of wolves.
Well, exactly. You find me the man, I'll find you the crime. That's exactly what Neil was saying. He's got to be guilty of something, right?
And in regards of people being sheep, the government turning into wolves, we saw that with COVID. We as a nation allowed that to happen. When you give these lunatics a little bit of power, they are going to use it to suppress the bejesus out of you. Now, later in the interview, Neil still trying to flip Ramaswamy against Trump.
Vivek, you don't think there's anything in this case that shows or even strongly hints of the former president trying to reverse that Georgia contest?
Neil, you know I've had this conversation before. There's a difference between a bad judgment and an illegal act.
No, I understand that,
is on reuniting this country, on leading us forward,
Vivek,
and that's going to make my job more difficult.
I understand. But when you have the Republican governor of Georgia who has said this report is irrefutable, and that this was an attempt at voter fraud that was scorching. And you have others who've taken similar views, including the Secretary of State, they're a Republican, who said that Donald Trump went too far. Wouldn't you put your trust, or at least your instincts, in those guys, Republicans, who said that this has been well examined, aggressively examined, and there was nothing to it?
That sounds like such a swamp monster type of statement. Why don't you just put your trust in the Republicans? They have an R next to their name. They're going to be the good guys. No, that's not what anyone needs to do. If Ramaswamy feels like Trump's getting railroaded here by Republicans and Democrats, he's got the right to come out and call that out. Neil Cavuto, one of just the worst. You can just tell. When Ramaswamy wasn't giving him the answer that he wanted, he kept going back to the well, trying to make it so.
Well, he's got to be guilty of something. Well, the governor of Georgia said this.
He's a Republican. What's wrong with you? Yeah, man, that's the kind of stuff that I'm dealing with here in the mayor's race in Indianapolis. Just because there's an R next to your name doesn't mean that you're right. All right, Matt Bear, what's going on?
Brownsburg crash, westbound 74 Ronald Reagan Parkway. The cops just got there. The right shoulder is blocked and traffic's moving okay, but please know they're there. Also looking at eastbound 465, stop and go Keystone Avenue over to the White River, and a little bit of slow here on eastbound 70 around west. Traffic sponsored by Speedway. Speedway, your 7th cup of coffee is free with Speedy Rewards, so go wild. The convenience stores of Speedway, valid through 1/9/24, participating U.S. stores. See app for full terms. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Beautiful day, sunshine and 80 degrees at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Coming up at 4:35, we have a couple fun announcements about this show. It's nothing earth-shaking, but I think it's something you guys will enjoy. So that's coming up a little bit later on. Coming up next, though, we have an update on the Barbie movie. This thing is still rolling. The Barbie movie is like the cinema version of Taylor Swift's tour.
Yeah, but this story that we're talking about is taking a left turn, a hard left turn when we get into the weeds of it, though. It's very strange.
That's next.
Available now for WhamFest, a festival of wine, art, music, and microbrew featuring the Spin Doctors. Saturday, August 19th at Craig Park in Greenwood. Advance tickets at whamfest.com.
Summer storm season is in full swing here in Indiana. When the next storm hits and leaves you with wind and hail damage, there is no need to worry. Tony Katz here, and Moss Roofing is here in central Indiana to help you through it all. They can repair storm damage to your roof and siding. Moss Roofing not only gives free inspections, but they also help guide their customers through the annoying insurance process to help give their customers the best experience possible. That's why Moss Roofing is your trusted Indianapolis roofing contractor. You get a roof done right every single time. If your roof needs an inspection, call now. Minor storm damage can lead to major repairs if you don't get it fixed as soon as possible. Contact Moss Roofing at 317-747-3665. Don't forget to tell them Tony Katz sent you. 317-747-3665. 747-3665 or online at Moss, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com. That's mossroofing.com.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, above your eyes, below your eyes, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor, you've visited urgent care over and over again, and it's always the same thing. I know. Let's try antibiotics and nasal sprays. But the sinus infections keep coming back. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of Indianapolis Sinus Center called balloon sinuplasty. Imagine the relief of not having to deal with your sinus infections anymore. Set an appointment today with Indianapolis Sinus Center and find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Call 317-528-9650. 317-528-9650. That's 317-528-9650.
How would you like to free up some serious cash? Or at the very least, cut your monthly payments by $1,000 or so each month? Hey, what's up? It's Hammer here from the Hammer and Nigel Show. People are doing that every day with Loan Pronto's all-new Equity Express line of credit. Listen, your home value is way up, and Loan Pronto can help you access the equity without touching your primary mortgage. You can get tens of thousands out with very little paperwork and usually without an appraisal. With Loan Pronto, you can get $50,000 or $100,000 out right now. Pay off all of those 27% interest credit cards or your personal loans. For every $10,000 of debt that you consolidate, you can cut your monthly payments by nearly $500. Stop paying insane credit card rates. Call Loan Pronto right now. 317-953-6525. 317-953-6525 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
There are more identity threats than you realize. Even if you monitor your credit, only a little personal info needs to leak out, like your social security number or password, for you to become a victim. LifeLock alerts you to threats you could miss. If your identity is stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS. Go to LifeLock.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Have you taken your wife to see Barbie yet? Have you been a good husband?
Oh, no, I've been horrible, rotten.
Because I know she wants to see it.
She does.
It's still a cultural phenomenon here in this country, at least. I mean, they made another. It's made $500 million in North America alone, $1 billion worldwide. Number one movie again in the box office over the weekend, and it's created some obsessed fans, including Daisy and Dolly Simpson. They're British twins, and they've spent more than $200,000 to make themselves look like Barbie.
So we're talking about like plastic surgery stuff, right?
Yes, it's 2020. The 26-year-old women have gone under the knife several times getting nose jobs, breast augmentations, labiaplasty.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Chin and cheek work.
Whoa, stop.
Brazilian butt lifts.
Nope, go back. What was that?
I'm not going to say it again, actually. I don't think I should.
It's a medical procedure, Nige.
It's an operation down there to do something. in the groinal region for women. I'm not sure what it means or what it is or what it does.
It's a labiaplasty.
Thank you. Quote. Oh, I forgot Botox and butt fillers too.
Yeah, well, that's secondary compared to what's going on down there in the nether region.
Quote, we much prefer to look like Barbie dolls. Before we had anything done, we just looked basic. We didn't feel as feminine, and it didn't feel like our looks matched our personalities or styles. And they're not done yet. They're not done. They still got cheeks, jaws, lips, noses, chins, and more boob jobs to go. I don't find this any different than gender reassignment surgery. I find this just as troubling.
Right. I've seen people do this with like cats. Like, remember that one weirdo that had all the plastic surgery to make themselves look like a cat?
Look like a cat, yeah.
Yeah.
That's this, I put that in the category as to gender dysphoria or gender dysmorphia. One of the two. Gender dysmorphia, where you're not happy with the way your body looks, so you're willing to do anything, including certain plasties.
Why would you say the word?
Because I'm not.
It's a body part, Nigel. There's nothing dirty about it.
I know. I understand. It's just like saying your elbow, right?
Right. Exactly. No kneecap, elbow.
Don't. Please don't.
Should I not bring Allison into this conversation?
No,
then?
I definitely don't bring her, because I would not like to spend the next 2 days up in HR. Please. Thank you.
If you're looking for a reason to drink tonight, raise up a call told one. Call told one.
A call told one.
I've had a few already. In honor of the king. Elvis Presley died on this date back in 1977. Presley died, I believe, on the can at Graceland. Was only 42. So if my math is correct, he would have been 88 today if he were still alive. Do you think if he were still alive, he would have voted for Biden or Trump?
Trump. I think Elvis would be a Trump fan.
I don't know. Is he still trying to work in the entertainment industry? Because then you almost have to be a leftist, right? Or has he established himself so much that it doesn't matter? Like, I don't know. I don't know what Elvis's political leanings were, but yeah, the king left the building on this date back in 1977. And what we like to do on this show from time to time is play cover songs, popular artists doing other popular songs. So this is an all Elvis edition. Tell me if you like any of these, Nigel.
All right.
Here is Kelly Clarkson doing the Elvis hit Burning Love. Anything?
Yeah, much better than Elvis. I don't really like anything Elvis did. So yeah, I think
sacrilege. You don't like anything from the king?
No, I think any cover song he plays is going to be better than the original.
Wow. Hate mail at Hammer and Nigel, directed to Nigel.
Well, boy, when I said I didn't like that Oliver Anthony song yesterday, you should have seen the influx of tweets. Jeez. I'm going to get canceled by my own audience.
Here is Carrie Underwood doing Trouble.
If you're looking for trouble, you came to the right place.
100 times better.
If you're looking for trouble, just take a look at my face. I was born standing up and talking back.
I asked earlier, Nige, would Elvis have voted for Biden or Trump? Adam sends us a direct message on social media. Obviously, Elvis would be a Democrat voter because he's been dead for years. Thank you,
Bravo.
Adam.
Stop right now and ask yourself, what is most important to you? Hey, this is Casey Weed at Howard Bailey Financial, the official wealth management partner of Notre Dame Athletics. We believe in developing retirement plans driven by what is most important to you, your purpose. Then we can build what we call your financial life plan, made up of 4 main pillars: liquidity for emergencies, income to last a lifetime, flexibility to adapt, estate planning to maximize your legacy, and finally, tax planning to maximize what you can spend and pass on. To learn more about saving on your taxes, get your free digital tax guide. Just call or text TAX42 to 866-482-9559. That's TAX42 to 866-482-9559.
Notre Dame Athletics was compensated for this endorsement and is not a current client of Howard Bailey. For more information, please visit howardbailey.com/ND disclosure. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Tony Katz here for Premier Arms in Brownsburg, your premier gun store. Over 1,200 firearms in stock and the largest selection of used firearms in the area. Premier Arms is home of the Buy Room. This exclusive, private, and secure room is where Premier Arms will buy your estate or special collection of firearms and jewelry. Premier Arms and PA Jewelers, their one-of-a-kind jewelry store located in the same building, are the largest buyers of firearms, firearm collections, and estate jewelry in the Midwest. Talk to Premier Arms today. 3754 South Green Street. Online at premierarms.com. Is your Generac home standby generator overdue for annual maintenance or an oil change? Schedule an inspection with a certified tech at Generator Supercenter to ensure your Generac generator is ready when you need it most. GeneratorSupercenter.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Pence's presidential plan, 80 degrees with mostly clear skies in downtown Indianapolis. Nothing on your radar. Some more clouds could move in later as your low temp drops down to about 61. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:31. If former Vice President Mike Pence is elected president in 2024, he says one of his goals is to
do nothing less than to restore and revive federalism in America starting on January 20th, 2025.
In Indianapolis Wednesday at a legislative conference, Pence said he wants to eliminate the Federal Department of Education and return control of highway trust fund spending to states. More resources from Indiana are on the way to Maui. Ryan Hedrick reports.
The task force, consisting of firefighters and cops and others, has been fully activated to Lahaina, Maui, where at least 106 people are dead, 2,200 buildings burned, and more than $600 billion worth of damage caused by the wildfires. The Indiana Task Force 1 deployment includes 22 Indy firefighters and 4 members of IMPD. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
President Biden and the First Lady are also headed to Hawaii.
The President and the First Lady will be traveling to Hawaii on Monday to meet with first responders, survivors, as well as federal, state, and local officials.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre. Over 100 people have died in the fires in Hawaii. Opera in Indianapolis has a new location to rehearse, and they want to use it to help out other organizations. Sam Fritz has the story.
The Indianapolis Opera held a ribbon-cutting event for their new headquarters, the Basile Opera Center, on Tuesday. General Director of the Indianapolis Opera, David Craig Starkey, says the space will not only serve the organization, but is set to help serve others as well.
There are other groups that have grown, and they need bigger places, like the Indianapolis Men's Choir or the Indianapolis Film Festival have been here.
Yesterday's ceremony also included a speech from Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett and performances of select opera pieces for attendees. Sam Fritz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:33.
Indy, stop spoiling your summers, painting year after year. Do what your neighbor Mark did. He called Rhino Shield.
It's a 2-story home built in 1992. Around 2001, looking at needing to paint, I heard a radio ad, with Rhino Shield, you won't have to paint again for another 25 years.
Rhino Shield's ceramic coating is specifically formulated for our climate.
They're very professional. We had everything done. Everything that would typically be painted on a house was done, and it was very fast.
Indy, this just in. Take advantage of Rhino Shield's summer savings. Get $1,000 off plus 0% interest for 18 months.
It was done in 2001 and still going strong. From what I've seen on our home, they can easily offer a 25-year guarantee and not worry about it.
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
With traffic at 334, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison crashed 21st at Post. Also slow into downtown. Southbound 65 west to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 465 stop and go traffic Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville Road. And inbound 69 slows in 96. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Design it before you buy it at bwindow.com. And now for a limited time, get 40% off all products. A free entry door plus 20 months. No interest and no payments. Trust me. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Mostly to completely sunny skies as we move into the afternoon. Evening hours will continue clear on this Wednesday. Perfect conditions outside for a calm, comfortable, and cool evening. Low temperature near the 60-degree mark. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Renee Sutis for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
The Hammer and Nigel Show. My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. Also joining live in studio, Casey Daniels from the Kendall and Casey Show. How are you?
I'm good. How about you guys?
Excellent. I was just reading that Joe Biden has finally commented on the Hawaiian wildfires after saying no comment a couple of days ago.
Yeah,
He's going to be going to Hawaii in a couple of days. He's offering them a lot of federal assistance. Death toll up over 100. They haven't identified hardly any of the dead yet. But back to the no comment from Joe Biden a couple of days ago, Casey. What struck you with that? What did you think?
I couldn't believe he said that. I'm really hoping that he didn't hear the question, because they were asking him as he was getting in the SUV, and it almost seemed like the look on his face, who knows, he's so dazed and confused all the time, but it's possible that he didn't hear the question and he was just doing the no comment and climbed in the SUV. I really hope that's the answer, because if he was saying no comment and he heard the question, that sucks. That is so lame. How easy would it have been for him to take 2 or 3 steps over to the rope line and say, this is tragic, it's awful, thoughts and prayers?
I think you're giving him too much credit. It would have been incredibly difficult for him to shuffle over there and think of something off the top of his head. There's not a teleprompter. He has hard enough time at reading off a teleprompter.
Yeah.
Right.
I just,
let alone thinking extemporaneously off the top of your head.
You don't just after a disaster, the leader of the country can't come up with, this is tragic, we're all thinking of Hawaiians.
But this is who
and
he
thoughts
is.
And prayers.
This is who Joe Biden is. When that toxic train derailment happened in Ohio, he still hasn't been there.
Right.
He keeps telling Karine Jean-Pierre to go up there and say, oh, he still plans on going.
Yeah.
He still plans. No, he doesn't. He doesn't care about this. Joe Biden was ticked off that he was being bothered on vacation again with actual questions. That's what it was.
Yeah, and you hit it right on the head there, Hammer, because when he's saying, I'm going to get to Hawaii as soon as we can, it just screams, this is Ohio Part 2. It's the
100%.
same exact thing. He's just blowing it off. And I don't understand why, because what a photo opportunity it could be for him.
Not only that, but whoever's in power, them showing up to your disaster means something, I think, to the people. I think it would mean a lot to the people of Hawaii and Maui and the towns and counties surrounding Maui to have, the most powerful man in the universe show up. Literally, it's just dumbfounded as I am when those words come out of my mouth. He is literally the most powerful guy in the world right now.
Doesn't that make you angry?
Yeah.
And Hawaii is a reliably blue state, so it's not like he'd even be going into hostile territory,
right?
Which is what we were all thinking about Ohio. Oh, he doesn't want to go there. That's Trump country. But this is Hawaii. These are people who voted for him, and yet he still can't muster it. And I'm wondering, is he not healthy enough to make the flight to Hawaii? Long flight?
It's a long flight.
Tell him there's a beach there. He'll be there in a heartbeat because that's all he's been doing lately, sitting on the beach.
He'll be dragging his chair across the beach there.
I don't know. The more I watch Joe Biden, the more it looks like this is a guy committed to not running. He is going to vacation the rest of his presidency out, not give a damn, do the bare minimum, and at the very last minute, he's going to say, yeah, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
He just doesn't look like a guy that's interested in anything that's going on.
No, you're right. He doesn't look interested, and hopefully he won't do anything on his way out. Like, if he could just...
Good point.
Seriously, wouldn't we all be better off? Quit spending money. Quit sending money to Ukraine. Just, seriously, go down in the basement at the White House and do nothing. We'd all be better off.
And that's the other thing. You mentioned Ukraine right there. Ukraine's going to get more aid and money faster than Hawaii is.
Yeah, absolutely.
A state in the United States is going to get less help quicker than Ukraine does.
Yeah, it's America last under the Biden administration. And, did you guys see the tweet from Karine Jean-Pierre? She said, when I ran for president, I ran to leave no one behind. So now, that's just like a snapshot of what the administration is.
Somebody obviously forgot to switch accounts on their phone.
Clearly,
right?
but you can't even, they're bumbling a tweet. How hard is it to manage a social media account?
Casey Daniels with us on the Kendall and Casey show. Hey, 1 week from tonight, it's go time.
Yeah.
The first Republican debate. We still don't know if Donald Trump's going to be there or not. He's going to hold that decision out until the very last minute. He's a showman. What do you think of the field right now? Donald Trump, obviously the front runner. If he continues to run, he's probably going to be the nominee. What about everybody else? Ramaswamy and Ron DeSantis. Anybody else pique your interest?
Okay, I think that Ron DeSantis and Ramaswamy are going to be the most articulate. I think Mike Pence has the chance of coming across looking weak. And if Donald Trump is on the stage, he better come up with something just a little bit more detailed than drill, baby, drill. I like the message, drill, baby, drill. I think we need some real help to get our economy back on track. But what is he going to do with manufacturing and all the regulation, and what is his actual plan? Like, Mike Pence, Ron DeSantis, and Ramaswamy, they have all released a full scoped energy plan, a policy, right?
You don't think Pence is going to have a good night on the debate stage? Because I will say this about Captain Whitehead.
Yeah.
If there's one thing he's good at,
is debating.
It's debating.
Yeah, he's articulate.
And there's going to be some big time debaters on that stage. Tim Scott's going to be good at this. Ron DeSantis is going to be good at this. Nikki Haley, people who have spoken in front of the masses before. So this isn't going to be somebody with stage fright up there. You're going to have some serious debaters, master debaters, if you will.
Hey, I've entered actually the contest from Ron DeSantis to try to be there. I could be a winner right now.
Cool.
VIP. Or you could go down to Louisville because I think they're having a debate watch party after their Lincoln Day dinner down there with Rand Paul and Riley Gaines. That would be a whole lot of fun,
debate watch party. Now that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Why didn't somebody think about that here? Oh, wait a minute.
Anyway, but 1 week from tonight, I think here's what I would like all of us to do, and see if we can get Tony on board for this too. I think we all should live tweet the thing.
Yeah.
And if you're a fan of WIBC, follow along on Twitter, X, whatever it's called, and we're just going to do the thing live all night long. Are you in?
I'm in. Totally. Do we all take a person, or we just whatever?
No, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
And we all retweet each other and share it around.
It'll be debate soup. I love it.
Just a side note, real quick. Like, how many years down the road are we still going to be calling it Twitter? It's kind of like Deer Creek.
Yeah, I've made it perfectly clear. I'm not calling it X. It's Twitter. It's Deer Creek, it's the Hoosier Dome, and it's Twitter, and I'm not changing.
The Hoosier Dome's gone. It's demolished. But I swear, either using retweets or now they use repost on X.
Is that what it's called now, repost?
Repost,
okay.
yeah.
I don't like that at all. It's not fun.
Nope, still Twitter to me.
Yeah.
What are you working on with the side piece?
Okay, so the highest earners in the state of Indiana. Guess what? Spoiler alert, it is not restaurant servers.
Are we talking about state employees?
Nope, we're talking about industries.
Okay. The state employees is probably Mike Woodson, the head coach of Indiana. But if you're talking about just regular workers,
industries that make the most money throughout the
probably
state.
like the CEO of Lilly, sales executives.
Look at Nigel. He's so smart.
Commercial real estate guys. Those guys, all those guys you see living in the big mansions in Geist, they're executive, they're sales, they're lawyers, they're doctors. Am I right? Am I getting it?
Don't see a lot of radio hosts on that list, do you?
Actually, broadcasting is on the list in the top 3, if you can believe it. Not radio broadcasting. Don't be silly. But yeah, Nigel, you're right on point there. It's management and those high-end companies.
Casey Daniels, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hey, Pat Sullivan here. Are the kids finally back in school and out of your hair? Well, let Hope Plumbing help with your hair. For the month of August, if you install a water softener, Hope will give you a $100 gift card to Sullivan Hardware to buy a year's supply of salt for that new softener. If crazy kids, damaged hair, and dry skin made you lose your mind this summer, the time is now to fix your hard water for good. Visit hopeplumbing.com or give them a call at 641-HOPE.
Say goodbye to flooded basements with the help of Justin Dorsey Plumbing. Our knowledgeable, friendly technicians can install a brand new sub pump to keep your home dry and protected year-round. Call us at 463-255-7619 and enjoy a limited-time offer of $55 off your new pump. That's 463-255-7619. Don't cry about your plumbing problems. Call today, fix today is the Justin Dorsey Plumbing way.
I don't always black out when I'm drunk.
My kids can't tell that I'm high, so it's okay.
I'm not an alcoholic. I don't drink in the morning.
I still have a job, so my drug use isn't a problem.
I can stop using whenever I want.
Don't ignore the signs of addiction. You don't have to wait until it's too late to get help. At Landmark Recovery, we're here to provide affordable and effective addiction treatment. Call 866-LANDMARK or visit landmarkrecovery.com to get help today.
Are you working way too hard for way too little? There's never been a better time to consider a career in IT. You could enjoy a recession-resistant career in a rewarding field with plenty of growth opportunities and often flexible work environments. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. You could start your new career in months, not years. Take classes online or on campus, and financial aid is available to qualified students, including the GI Bill. Now is the time. mycomputercareer.edu.
Have you lost Indiana Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost, quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
What is 988? It's a way forward. It's a listening ear. It's whatever help you need, when you need it. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline offers trained crisis specialists, ready to talk to you 24/7. If you or someone you love is experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis in their life, call or text 988. Want more information? Visit 988indiana.org.
Design it before you buy it. For a limited time, receive 40% off all products, plus a free entry door, and 20 months, no interest, no payment.
Trust me. I'd rather be folding laundry.
This is gonna be fun.
Said no one ever. Also, no one enjoys wasting time in traffic. That's why we love saving you time. Matt Baird Traffic.
Backups are already starting.
On 93 WIBC.
On Twitter, at Hammer and Nigel, we were just talking about the GOP debate, which is 1 week from today.
Yeah.
Don't know if Trump's going to participate or not, but somebody made a great suggestion. What if he said he'd be the moderator? DeSantis, respond.
Time's up.
Mr. President, no, DeSantis, time's over. Matt Bear, what's going on?
All right, Hammer, looking at westbound 74 to Brownsburg at Ronald Reagan Parkway. It's a crash on the right shoulder, one on the east side, 21st Street at Post. And coming into downtown, southbound 65, stop and go 29 to Meridian Penn, and eastbound 70 loaded from Harding Street to Meridian, Illinois. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Design it before you buy it at bwindow.com. And now for a limited time, get 40% off all products, a free entry door plus 20 months, no interest, no payments. Trust me. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Now, I don't know if this can happen or not, but we had a story earlier about somebody that was obsessed with the Barbie movie and Barbie culture. They got, this is a medical term, labiaplasties.
They were turning themselves into Barbie.
Correct.
And that was one of the procedures they had done in addition to Botox and boobs and butt fillers.
Somebody on the YouTube chat wants to know if you can say that in your Donald Trump voice.
No, I'm not going to say it.
Oh, come on.
No.
Give the people what they want, Donald.
No, I'm not going to say that.
Candy ass.
No,
right now, it's 80 degrees at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
I will say, Hammer, just real quick, I mean, Donald Trump's got to do that debate. He's got to get out there and plead his case to the public. There's several people on that stage with him that are on his side. And for him not to show up and plead his case to the American public, I think would be a bad idea.
So what's the pros and the cons here? Because we do this when we play Is This Anything?
The cons are he's going to have to be up there with a bunch of nobodies, like Chris Christie and Asa Hutchinson, and have to deal with a hostile comments from them.
Them trying to make names for themselves at his expense.
Absolutely. But you guys, I mean, you got what's Vivek Ramaswamy going to argue with him about? Like,
he's too awesome. Because Vivek's a super fan of Donald Trump.
Well, I'm just saying.
I just don't know if there's a win for him. If he's blowing everybody out of the water right now, can you only hurt yourself by appearing? Now, trust me, I'm somebody that wants him to be there, and we plan to live tweet this thing next Wednesday. Rob and Casey will. I think Tony probably will too. So make sure you follow all of us here at WIBC. But if I'm the political advisor of Donald Trump, I don't necessarily think there's a win if we show up. We'll see. Maybe by not showing up, the others close the gap a little bit. But I think his ego is going to get in the way when it's all said and done.
And he has to plead his case to the American public about how how the weaponization of the Department of Justice is not only affecting him, but affecting everyday members of society, like Josh Hawley mentioned, infiltrating the Catholic Church, pro-lifers, FBI showing up at pro-life guy's house, the demonization, the domestic terrorism label for parents to show up at school board meetings. So I'd love him to show up. I think it's 50-50 right now.
Today is AAA Day out at the Indiana State Fair. So if you have a AAA membership, if you've got that card in your wallet, in your purse, whatever, and you haven't been to the fair, just show that at the admission gate. Bada bing, bada boom, you're in the fair for free tonight. AAA Day at the fair, and it's a beautiful day. Like sometimes when you go out to the fair, you know it's going to be in August. You never know what the weather's going to be like. It could be super hot. You could get some rain. Man, this is perfect. Sunshine, not a cloud in the sky right now. It's 80 degrees. So if you want to head out to the Indiana State Fair this evening, get some of that awesome fair food, maybe a beverage or two, walk around, support some Hoosier farmers, get that AAA card out, and you get free admission. And if you don't have a AAA membership and you're going to the fair anyway, stop by Main Street. They've got the AAA section there. And I think Quinn Buckner, former IU legend, national champion, does a lot of work with the Indiana Pacers. He's going to be there signing stuff as well, so make sure you check that out. Allison, hit me with some legal stuff. Crime, punishment, judges, legal stuff.
California has now legalized jaywalking in the name of equity. in Los Angeles, and now pedestrian deaths are soaring.
Well, that's not good.
Jaywalking laws were repealed in part because Democratic lawmakers argued that they unequally impact poor and minority communities.
So basically, the argument from these super woke, super left-leaning California Democrats was only black people or minority people are getting hassled for jaywalking. So they repealed the whole thing, and now everybody's dying. It seems like a step backwards.
I've got, what do I got, a minute left here?
Yes.
I've got an interesting opinion from my buddy who works in the construction industry and lived in California and works with a lot of minorities. And he's got an interesting, he's on our side. He's a conservative, a Trump guy, right? But he's got an interesting perspective. Quote, and I texted him about this. The only thing is, the courts end up clogged with folks that get swept up into this. The fines escalate to criminal charges, and if left unpaid, usually result in license suspension. To take away driving privileges, they also lose their ability to earn and dig their way out.
So because the court system is a hot mess in California.
Yeah, right. So that's one perspective from a guy that's on our side, that's in the industry, that works with a lot of minorities.
But Gavin Newsom says he's got everything under control, and his shadow campaign for presidency, he wants America to be California. Got it. We got the top stories of the day and Bobby Burak of Outkick next.
Real estate expert Mark Dietel did an excellent job for Kevin and Lori and Monon. Their family was growing. They needed to sell their small house, found a bigger house, but they needed to sell their current home for top dollar to afford the bigger place. The Dietel team made it happen. The old home sold in 7 days, and they made sure they closed on both houses in the same day.
You have a lot of options in the real estate game, but Mark Dietel is the only real estate agent and expert that we recommend and trust here on the Hammer and Nigel show. Mark Dietel has the guarantee. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. That is how much confidence Mark Dietel has. Pick your move date, no long-term contracts. You can cancel at any time. 317-755-4232 or go to markdietel.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietel.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Hey, Casey, what's 12 times 3?
It's 36.
You're so good. Follow-up question. How would you like to get a 36% bonus when you invest your money? So, if you invest $100,000, you get a $36,000 bonus. If you invest $200,000, you get a $72,000 bonus.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. Not only can you get a 36% bonus, you also get a competitive return, an average of 7% a year for the past 10 years. Plus, your money is backed by one of the largest insurance companies in the world. To learn more, call Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy, at 317-932-9912.
This 36% bonus won't last long, so call 317-932-9912. 317-932-9912. Past performance is no guarantee of future returns.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. When a restaurant closes, my reaction is, that sucks. They had good steak. When regional banks close, or 3 of them close overnight, it freaks me out. This is why I have my own personal gold reserve. It's part of my personal protection plan. Call my friends at Oxford Gold Group. Call 833-404-GOLD. 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
Georgia Street Tailgates are back, presented by Peterman Brothers, August 19th at 4 p.m. prior to the Colts preseason game. Enjoy tasty food and drinks like Jack Daniels-inspired cocktails or a beer from New Belgium Brewing featuring Fat Tire and Bell's Hazy Hearted served up by Walk-On Sports Bistro. Test your quarterback skills at Academy Sports and Outdoors booth or connect with the VA and more. There will be a DJ mixing on the Jack Daniels free stage and admission is free. The Georgia Street Tailgates this Saturday starting at 4 p.m.
Accidents involving cars, big trucks, and motorcycles are some of the leading causes of traumatic brain injuries, or TBIs. I'm attorney Daryl Isaacs. I know what my TBI clients are going through because I've been there myself. I suffered a traumatic brain injury after a wreck and was hospitalized for almost a month. In legal cases, every minute counts, especially with TBI cases. I've been there and I'll be there for you.
Just click to get help quick at WeWin.com.
Wealth-changing question. Has your advisor created a portfolio based only on your age and risk tolerance? That's simply not good enough. Your money deserves better, and so do you. At Creative Planning, our private wealth managers learn about you first, and then they create a customized plan and portfolio by partnering with our in-house money managers, accountants, and attorneys. Don't settle for a standard portfolio. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Coming up in 2 minutes, what former Indiana Governor Mike Pence thinks about another Trump indictment. More Hoosiers are going to be helping in Maui, and why CBD retailers aren't happy with the state's attorney general. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You were listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
The president says he's saving people money. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News, marking the one-year anniversary of the Inflation Reduction Act.
One of the most significant laws I think has ever been enacted. Taking on the special interest and winning and winning.
President Biden says it's helping families save thousands every year on energy bills, in part through tax credits and rebates for new appliances, in addition to lowering prescription drug costs. Though the bill's climate provisions are now estimated to have a much bigger price tag than first thought. Democratic Senator Joe Manchin, who supported the bill, is now accusing the administration of trying to implement a radical climate change agenda. President Biden will visit Maui next week, an island still in the early stages of recovering from one of the deadliest wildfires in U.S. history.
The president and first lady will meet with fire victims and first responders in Maui on Monday, a trip President Biden said he would not take if it diverted from ongoing search and rescue operations.
It will not be completed, but it will be in an area where he will not be impacting that.
FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell says Hawaii's governor also agreed President Biden won't hamper the recovery.
He's going to be able to bring hope, and he's going to speak with the governor and the state's first lady and talk to survivors and hear their stories.
Criswell says many victims are still learning how to apply for and receive federal aid.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. A trial date proposed for the Georgia case against former President Trump. The Fulton County DA filing papers for a March 4th trial. Trump has denied charges of election interference, but hasn't been arraigned yet after he and 18 others were indicted this week. He has already pleaded not guilty in 2 federal indictments stemming from a special counsel probe and a separate New York case related to hush money payments. A late sell-off on Wall Street, the Dow down 180 points at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What he thinks about a 4th indictment. 78 degrees, just a few clouds in downtown Indianapolis. Your radar's clear, though. Low temps tonight dropped to the lower 60s. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. Former President Donald Trump has been indicted for a 4th time. What does his former vice president think about that?
First principles are these. No one is above the law. And the president and all those implicated are entitled to the presumption of innocence that every American enjoys.
Mike Pence said the 2020 election was not stolen while speaking in Indy this morning. He's also running for president and will be at the first GOP primary debate later this month. More resources from Indiana are on the way to Maui. Ryan Hedrick reports.
The task force, consisting of firefighters and cops and others, has been fully activated to Lahaina, Maui, where at least 106 people are dead, 2,200 buildings burned, and more than $600 billion worth of damage caused by the wildfires. The Indiana Task Force 1 deployment includes 22 Indy firefighters and 4 members of IMPD. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The 3 men who were found dead inside of an SUV parked outside of an IPS middle school Monday are suspected to have died from overdoses, says IMPD. They were found across the street from Jonathan Jennings School 109. A 4th man was found. Police say He was intoxicated and he was sent to a hospital. CBD retailers are feeling the strain of an opinion from the Attorney General. Kurt Darling reports.
Todd Rokita released an opinion in January that claims CBD and Delta do qualify as Schedule I drugs. Since then, Shadi Corey, who manufactures CBD products, tells Indie Politics that many of his stores are getting visits from law enforcement.
There's been several counties across the state that are, the prosecutors and the police are coming in and basically telling these people that they're criminals.
Both CBD and Delta 8 are legal to sell in Indiana. Kurt Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
Hey, it's Hammer and Nigel for Window Nation. Feeling the heat? High temps aren't the only thing getting you hot under the collar. Wait till you see your energy bills. The solution? I recommend my friends at Window Nation for new energy-efficient windows. Your home stays comfortable and cool, and you will save on those high energy bills. Not to mention the incredible savings Window Nation is offering right now. Get 50% off any style window. Bows, bays, double hung, sliders, 50% off.
Plus, put zero down and make zero payments with 0% interest for 24 months. Maintain your chill, lower your bill, and fill your home with new Window Nation windows. Go with the company that has installed nearly 2 million windows with 96% needing no follow-up service. Get 50% off all style windows and put no money down, make no payments, and pay no interest for 2 full years. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
With traffic on the 5s at 4:05, here's Matt Baer.
Harrison, I'm looking at eastbound 70 right now. It is stop and go from Belmont to the south split. You turn north slow out to Washington, but it's unusual. The southbound 65 is stop and go right now from Raymond down to Keystone Avenue. We're keeping an eye on that. South side eastbound 465, again, stop and go traffic, Kentucky Avenue past the White River. That's a crash on the east side, Rural Street north of Michigan Street. Also a bad one on the south side, South Sherman Drive at stop 11. That's a vehicle on its side. It sounds like everybody's okay. Traffic sponsored by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. They've teamed up with the Indiana Fever and Common Threads to provide local schools with information for nutritious meal preparation. Learn more at anthem.com/fever. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Anthem Insurance Companies Incorporated. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Mostly to completely sunny skies as we move into the afternoon. Evening hours will continue clear on this Wednesday. Perfect conditions outside for a calm, comfortable, and cool evening. Low temperature near the 60-degree mark. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Renee Sutis for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on The Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel. Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it! My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a very special guest on the DriveHubler.com hotline.
One of my favorite writers is Bobby Burack, who writes for Outkick. He covers a number of different things. It's not just politics, but it's pop culture, it's sports, it's a little bit of everything. Bobby joins us now on the DriveHubler.com hotline. And Bobby, you have been tweeting and writing about the silent majority fighting back. Take me through what you mean by that.
Yeah, first of all, I appreciate you guys having me. What's fascinating about this development, and into it as deep as you want, but everybody knows what happened with Bud Light and the consumer response. Last I knew, their market capitalization was down $21 billion. They lost their standing as the leading beer company for the first time in 22 years. Everybody knows what happens. So I had no interest in rehashing that. What I try to do is figure out what this means. What's the bigger picture? What's the long-term ramifications? And what I found interesting and revealing, what happened here is the message is that gender appropriation is the way of the future, that Dylan Mulvaney is this hero for being a man who now calls himself a woman or a girl, depending on the day. But we're seeing with the results, that's not the consensus. That's a myth. See, in all these cases, you go down the line from Bud Light, Target, to Disney losing $900 million on their last 8 films, and the inverse, Jason Aldean and Sound of Freedom blowing up, being the top song and one of the top films of the summer. So the conclusion here is that there's a small percentage of the country that controls the message. They set the perception. They set the tone. They start trends. However, that's not indicative of society at large. In all these cases, we learned and saw that there's a larger group out there. They're not vocal on Twitter or X. They might not be famous on TikTok, but the numbers are on their side. So while they might never win the war of the words, the battle of perception, they don't need to, because all throughout history, one thing has remained constant. The common man controls the country, and they don't do it through messaging. They do it through votes, transactions, consumer habits, and boycotts. And that's what's so telling and encouraging about all this, is that the average Smo Joe in Alabama who's told he has no power, that's a lie. He has a lot of power because he can vote, he can buy whatever kind of beer he wants, go see any movie he wants. At the end of the day, the people below empower those above, meaning nobody can get to power or influence unless they have people below them supporting them. So everybody out there that feels like the ruling class controls them, they only control them because they've allowed them to control them. When you fight back and say, I'm not going to support this stuff, they have no defense because the numbers are not on their side.
You get down into the weeds, specifically with the movie you mentioned, Sound of Freedom, which was made by a somewhat conservative production company, Angel Productions, I think. I might be mispronouncing the name of the production company, but they make quality films. I mean, Sound of Freedom still in the top 10 at the box office, beating out Mission Impossible and Indiana Jones last weekend. It cost $14 million to make. It's made $170 million at the box office, but yet outlets like Rolling Stone and other progressive platforms just bashed this movie as some sort of QAnon conspiracy. Sound of Freedom, of course, the movie about child trafficking. I think it says a lot when Rolling Stone or one of these other ultra progressive media platforms comes out and bashes a movie like that people have flocked to the box office to see. I think that says a lot about about the quality of the movie.
Absolutely. And what made me write this is in mid-July, we saw the reports that 70% of the country doesn't support males playing sports with females in the name of transgenderism. Most of the country, I believe 65%, opposes the trajectory of the transgender movement. And someone told me, they're like, Bobby, those numbers don't matter because the people are afraid to say it. Yeah, most of us disagree, but they're too afraid to say it because they might be called transphobic or lose their job or upset their teenage daughter. But I said, well, that doesn't really matter because there are a lot of people afraid to say it, but you don't win the battle of culture through messaging and perception. You win it through results.
Yeah.
And what is so brilliant about what they did to Bud Light, which is the common man, members of the working class, they didn't win. They didn't hurt Bud Light and damage Target and derail Disney through words. They did it silently and mostly anonymously with their habits. They stopped going to see Disney movies. They bought other brands of beer. They took their grocery list to other stores other than Target. You don't have to brand yourself as one side or the other because you do all this silently. So for the people that say, I want to make an impact, but my job does not allow me to speak up, you don't have to speak up. Your actions will speak far louder than words because trust me, Disney, Bud Light, Target, they're panicking right now. We're seeing leaks every week of these executive meetings trying to figure out how do we gain back the popularity and success we once had. I hate to use cliches because I criticize people, but the phrase that action speaks louder than words is so indicative of the trajectory of culture right now in America.
Bobby Burack is our guest. He's a writer for Outkick. Great follow on Twitter as well. Keeping it in the censorship, silent majority kind of category here, I'm real curious, Bobby, to see what Sage Steele says now, because she was an employee at ESPN. We know Sage, IU product, just one of the nicest people you will ever meet. Comes back to Indy quite a bit. She is now free from the reins of ESPN. They treated her like crap when she was there because she spoke out against the vaccines. She questioned a lot of the things that were being pushed out by ESPN. But at the same time, the same network let other lunatics just say what they want, kept Jalen Rose employed for a long time, and he was wrong about half the crap that he was spewing. I'm just curious, what do you think we're going to see now from Sage Steele and people like Sage who have the green light to speak freely? Are they going to have the platforms to do so?
Well, so I take that question in two steps because it's really well said. So first of all, you mentioned how her colleagues were able to really make a mockery of the so-called ban on talking politics that they suspended her for. I mean, just to recap your listeners, ESPN suspended Sage Steele for answering a question about Obama and the vaccine. Meanwhile, Mark Jones is sharing tweets calling Abraham Lincoln, Barack Obama, and Queen Elizabeth vile racists. You have Elle Duncan on TV encouraging fathers to speak out so their daughters can have abortion on demand in all 50 states. I mean, the list goes on and on. You have Max Kellerman calling Trump voters stupid and uninformed. So the hypocrisy lies deep within ESPN and mass media. But to answer question number two, where does she go next? Look, Sage Steele, to her credit, doesn't need a big media company, right? With X and Twitter now, you can do it on your own. She can start a podcast or do a Twitter show like Tucker Carlson, which is reaching millions of people. You have Megyn Kelly, who's doing a show on YouTube, making a lot of money and having as much influence, I believe, in the day-to-day conversation as anyone. So she does not have to go work for a media company. People care about what Sage has to say, particularly now because she took on the machine. She took on Disney. So I would encourage Sage not to sign with anybody. If I were her, I would start a podcast, put it on YouTube, put it on X, because people are going to write about what she says. They're going to listen to what she says. And advertisers are going to pay to advertise with her. I think Sage Steele is in a great spot.
Do you still feel good about YouTube, though, Bobby? Because I know we spend a lot of time talking about Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Those are the main players. People often forget what a powerful player YouTube is. They're still in the business of pulling some stuff down from time to time.
Yeah, I'm actually in the process of writing about that because we focused on Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg. What about the anonymous faces behind YouTube who deplatform, censor, and just derail businesses? But the reason I bring up YouTube is because as of today, it's still easier to make money on YouTube than any other social media platform. Can you bank on it if you have views like me? Absolutely not. But you might as well try because it's so much easier to monetize on YouTube. But you're absolutely right. I believe YouTube just censored the Daily Wire again. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but I'll say it anyway. We just got a letter at Outkick that if you dead name somebody, say something YouTube doesn't like about the vaccine, they'll kick you off with no warning. And for those that don't know, obviously dead naming is calling a transgender person by their real name. If you do that, you're banned. You can't monetize your business.
Like you can't say Bruce Jenner, right? Because Bruce Jenner ultimately became Caitlyn.
Boy.
You can't say Bruce Jenner anymore.
You right off the platform.
You're done. You're done. Your account's deleted. If you call Leah Thomas or Will Thomas like I do, you're done. You're removed. No second chances. You're out forever. Any money you make, that's it. You're done. So I agree with you. I'm very concerned about the future of YouTube. And honestly, YouTube's more powerful when it comes to media than those other services. People don't realize YouTube is actually the second most used search engine behind Google, which is the exact same parent company in Alphabet. So almost everyone who's using the internet to search, other than people like me who use Bing, they're all being controlled by Google. And who runs Google? I want to know, but nobody will tell me, right? Like, they don't have a front-facing character like Zuckerberg or Elon Musk or Bezos. I have no idea who's making decisions on YouTube, but this guy or woman is one of the most powerful people in all of the country.
Bobby, where can we find your work at, my friend?
Outkick.com. I'm not on YouTube right now. I could try. I don't think it would last too long, but maybe I'll make a YouTube page as well. But no, I appreciate you guys having me on and all the support.
Bobby Burek of Outkick. Bobby, we'll talk soon. Thanks, man.
Appreciate it.
Matt Bear's got to look at the roads.
Hammer southbound at 65 has an attitude today. Stop and go traffic from the south split down to Keystone Avenue. And this is a bad crash on northbound Post Road over IS-72. Right lanes are blocked, stopping traffic back to East 21st Street. Crash 86th Street at Allisonville Road. Crash south of Sherman Drive at stop 11. Vehicle on its side. Sounds like everybody's okay. Traffic sponsored by Speedway. At Speedway, your 7th cup of coffee is free with Speedy Rewards. So go wild. The convenience stores of Speedway. Valid through 1/9/24. Participating U.S. stores. See app for full terms. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Coming up here in about 10-15 minutes, 4:35, we have a fun announcement to share with you guys. Now, I want to set expectations here. It's nothing huge. We're not nationally syndicated. We're not moving, anything like that. It's kind of some fun stuff for you guys. So that's coming up at 4:35. Right now it's 81 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center, and we'll play Is This Anything next.
Or selling a house is the most stressful thing, and it's not fair. It's like this huge, life-changing event is happening, and you don't even get to enjoy it. Yeah, Matt Bear here. You're not enjoying it because you're going crazy, trying to keep up with the traditional home selling process and the cost of doing so. Instead, go easy on yourself and sell your home directly to Open Door. When I sold my house in northern Indiana, I was young, and the process was over my head. I wish I had the Open Door app back then because it's amazing. So easy. It means you could request an offer anywhere, then sell on your schedule. With Open Door, you can skip the stagings, endless negotiation showings, and strangers pawing your belongings. All that. You are in control of your move with Open Door. Visit opendoor.com or download the Open Door app to get started. That's opendoor.com or download the Open Door app. Open Door is represented by Open Door Brokerage Incorporated, license 020-61130 in California, and Open Door Brokerage LLC and its other markets. Terms and conditions apply.
The new coating that Galaxy put on my old garage floor turned it into something brand new, 4 times as strong. Galaxy doesn't use epoxy. That's the old standard. They use polyurea, the new premium standard for coatings. My new Galaxy concrete garage floor is literally out of this world. Check out before and after photos. Go to their Facebook page, scroll down a few posts. You'll see how they turn my old cracked garage floor into something awesome. Plus, the manufacturer just upgraded the warranty from 15 years to lifetime. GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com or give them a call, 317-751-9070.
JMV here for Sundown Gardens, and Sundown is gearing up for the fall season. Lots of great nursery product available. Come shop now to be on schedule for fall planting. It's still a great time to plant perennials, and planting now gives them time to establish a root system before winter arrives. Visit Miss Mary's for great home accents, fall decor, house plants, and more. And now's a great time to get a landscape consultation for fall installation as well. All of this at Sundown Gardens, 186 and Spring Mill Road. That's sundown.gardens.com. Sundown.gardens.com.
There are more identity threats than you realize. Even if you monitor your credit, only a little personal info needs to leak out, like your social security number or password.
For you to become a victim.
LifeLock alerts you to threats you could miss. If your identity is stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS. Go to LifeLock.com.
Hammer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is This Anything?
All right, let's
Hammer, how do we play Is This Anything?
I am going to run some stories by you. This is where you become the judge. You weigh out the pros and cons. You tell us if the story in question is anything or not. Well, today's your lucky day if you've never heard an Uber driver trying to convince her very drunk passenger to keep her ass in the back seat while the car is in motion. If you've never heard that, here you go.
Sit down in your seat.
Why?
Go sit down in your seat.
Where is she?
Nobody else in the car. Please sit down in your seat.
Where is she?
Rosie, please sit down in your seat. Thank you.
I'm good.
Okay. I don't want to have to end the ride.
Jump up there.
No, you're not going to jump up there.
I'm going to do.
No. As soon as I get to an exit that I can safely pull.
So pull.
As soon as I get to an exit, ma'am.
Ma'am?
I'm not leaving you on the side of the freeway in your inebriated state.
Because you know what? Really?
That is something that is horrible for the Uber driver. She totally should have pulled over on the busy interstate and kicked that drunk out. You want to get out, lady? Quit trying to climb to the front of my car. You know what? I'm pulling over here on 465 and kicking you the F out of my car. I feel so sorry for these Uber drivers. By the way, I love Uber. I love it. It's a great invention. We used it last weekend after a wedding downtown. My wife hates it when I sit in the front seat of an Uber.
Riding shotgun?
Because I will talk the driver's ear off. I'm just happy. I'm having a good time. Oh, she hates, like, even on vacation. Like, even, like, after we get off the plane and I've had a few drinks, I'm just so joyful to be on vacation and thankful that I will sit there and just interview the Uber driver like he's, like he's Tony Dungy or something like that. And my wife just sits in the back, shut up. Will you just leave him alone? Shut up. You're just,
do you normally have a good rapport with the driver?
Of course.
You can tell when they want to talk and be cordial, and you can tell when they want you to shut the hell up.
It doesn't matter what the rapport is. My wife wants me to shut the hell up.
Okay. I can see that. Is this anything? A video showing a white woman attacking a black veteran for sitting a little too close to her at a casino in Louisiana. It's being shared all over the internet. It's going viral. In the video, she not only physically attacks him, but racial slurs are thrown around. This is some of the video. Take a listen.
So now I just got hit. No. Hey, is security gonna come?
Yeah, that's something. I mean, in a casino, it's probably not a good idea anyway, no matter who you are. I mean, usually he was looking around for. I mean, you've worked at a casino. The security is pretty on the spot, right? They're Johnny on the spot.
Right. They've all got radios and things like that. They can get there pretty quick.
She's lucky, whoever this crazy woman is, she's lucky that she didn't get hurt. And that's all I'll say about that.
Right.
Because you start attacking somebody, whether you're a man or a woman, unprovoked, I'm going to defend myself.
Now, taking all the racial stuff off the table here, I will say that it is a little unnerving when somebody gets way too close to you, especially when you're at a place where you've got money in your hand and probably a lot of money on your person. Now, I have not seen the video, but once you get so close to somebody, like at all these casinos, you got to watch out for pickpockets and scumbags that have lost everything trying to steal things.
Oh, trust me, I've seen the movie Casino. I know how it works.
It's exactly how it is in Shelbyville, 100%. Is this anything? A guy in Raleigh, North Carolina was on his front porch grabbing a bag of bird food when a rat jumped up and it clung onto his shirt. This is the reaction.
Go to our Twitter page. I put that video out there. Scroll down a few posts. I would have done the exact same thing. So he goes outside. He's on the front porch. The rat hops on him. He freaks out. The rat runs away. He runs in the house. If you play it one more time, Allison, he runs in the house. He's still screaming even though the rat has gone away. Listen. Outside. Runs inside. I love that.
No, was there a second screamer there at the end?
He was screaming like a girl at first, and then it turned to more of a baritone.
Okay, so that was the same person. Because it sounded like a second screamer.
Listen for the second screamer.
No way that's the same person. No way. That can't be. Check out the video. It's on our Twitter. Just scroll down a little bit at Hammer and Nigel.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been solving garage door problems for 33 years. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. Service today.
You gotta love how Low T Center is more than testosterone, but they specialize in low T, so they make it easy. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and within 25 minutes in their on-site labs, you'll get your results back. If you've been feeling tired, grumpy, you've noticed weight gain, loss of muscle mass, these could all be signs of low testosterone levels, and that's what Low T Center specializes in.
Right now at the Low T Center, it's just $25 to get your testosterone tested, with the results coming back in about 25 minutes. So here's what you do. Go to lowtcenter.com, book that appointment online today. lowtcenter.com. Find a location near you, and the Low T Center really is your one-stop shop for all things men's health. It's so much more than just testosterone treatments. Check it out, lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care.
At DeLong Landscaping, their goal is to create the best curb appeal and outdoor living space for you. That could mean landscape design and installation, retaining walls, outdoor lighting, pergolas, and fire features. DeLong Landscaping specializes in pavers, concrete, stamped concrete, and decks. Google DeLong Landscaping, find them on Facebook, or call them today to schedule your free estimate at 317-667-5163. That's DeLong Landscaping at 317-667-5163.
Reggie was a nurse for 16 years.
I had become very burnt out. I wasn't making good money.
Then it happened.
There was an ad for My Computer Career, and it just spoke to me.
My Computer Career was the best decision he ever made.
I could study anywhere from my laptop, and I was working in the first couple weeks of me being in class.
Reggie hit a home run.
The field is teeming with jobs.
Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
The school is amazing.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He's already got a plan. 82 degrees, mostly sunny downtown. A clear radar, too. Some clouds could move in tonight with your low dropping down to 61. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:31. Mike Pence knows what he's going to do if he's elected president.
To do nothing less than to restore and revive federalism in America starting on January 20th, 2025.
Speaking at a legislative conference in Indy this morning, Pence said he also wants to get rid of the Federal Department of Education and return control of highway trust fund spending to states. 3 men were found dead inside of an SUV parked near an IPS middle school Monday. IMPD suspect all 3 died from an overdose. A 4th man was found alive and intoxicated. Police sent him to the hospital. The van was parked near Jonathan Jennings School 109. Tourists returning to Maui will not be a problem for FEMA, says Administrator Deanne Criswell.
It does not impact or affect our ability to respond and support the state, and it's not a factor that we take into consideration. We'll continue to send resources in to support whatever the state needs.
Tourists likely won't be back in the near future with the island still recovering from wildfires last week. FEMA's there to help however they can. Indiana Task Force 1 is scheduling flights. So the White House says they can't confirm comments attributed to an American soldier who crossed into North Korea last month.
We remain focused on his safe return, as we have been saying for these past several weeks, and we are working through all available channels to achieve that outcome.
Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, state-run media in North Korea reported Travis King told them he crossed into their territory to escape abuse and racism in the U.S. military. TikTok is being banned on city-owned devices in New York City. The ban starts immediately, and cyber safety officials with the city say the app poses a security threat to their technical networks. Agencies have 30 days to delete the app. Your stock report today, the Dow fell by 180 points to 34,765. The NASDAQ down by 156 points to 13,474. The S&P 500 down by 33 to 4,404. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:33.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana health insurance pros, and a sincere thank you to our loyal customers for helping make us national sales leaders for the 7th year in a row. We continue to save our new clients 30 to 40% when compared to their current ACA, short-term COBRA, or small group programs. Breaking news. On July the 7th, President Biden signed an executive order outlawing short-term health plans. If you're on a short-term plan or just unhappy with your present coverage, call Terry or Ron at 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. That's 317-563-0868 or rragency.org. If you don't call us, we can't help you. Our coverages are guaranteed to age 65 with zero deductible and zero copay options, all on the largest network in the country. Give us a call. What the heck you got to lose? As always, God bless America, or at least what's left of her.
With traffic at 4:34, here's Matt Bear.
Boxed in on the northwest side, Harrison, northbound 465, 86th Street up to 865. Eastbound 465, jams at Westfield Boulevard to Allisonville Road. Southbound 65 to downtown, stopped after MLK to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70, stop and go to downtown from Tibbs Avenue to the south split. And on the south side, eastbound 465 is stopped from Harding Street, almost I-65. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Design it before you buy it at bwindow.com. And now for a limited time, get 40% off all products, a free entry door, plus 20 months, no interest and no payments. Trust me. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Mostly to completely sunny skies as we move into the afternoon. Evening hours will continue clear on this Wednesday. Perfect conditions outside for a calm, comfortable, and cool evening. Low temperature near the 60-degree mark. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Renee Sutis for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
My name is Nigel. Hammer over there with a fun little announcement about the show.
So we have two fun little nuggets here. Again, nothing earth-shattering here, but open right now, the Hammer and Nigel Show merchandise store. A lot of people have came to us and said, we want Hammer and Nigel Show shirts, we want hats, we want a beer glass. Well, now you can get it. So if you go to our Facebook and Twitter right now, you will find the link to the Hammer and Nigel Show store. Now, if you don't have social media, it's very simple. store.hammerandnigel.com.
Don't put the triple W.
Yeah,
right?
Don't put all the W's in there. For whatever reason, it screws it up. I'm not a webmaster. I don't know. Just type in store.hammerandnigel.com. And we've got it on Facebook and Twitter right now. What are some of the items that folks can buy, Nigel?
I just bought a hoodie. I just bought a royal blue Hammer and Nigel hoodie and a V-neck Hammer and Nigel t-shirt. And some might be thinking right now, wait, why do you have to buy your own stuff? I'm just investing in our own brand.
Right.
That's all I'm doing right now.
So the Hammer and Nigel Show store is open. Support the show. If we've ever made you laugh, if we've ever informed you, if you know somebody who loves us, or if you just want to troll the super liberal person in your family, what better gift than a Hammer and Nigel Show
that's
hoodie?
Hilarious.
Or the golf shirt, those are available. The Pilsner glass, the baseball hat, it's all right there. Now, this is just the initial rollout. As we get a little further down the line, closer to the holidays, we're going to roll out some more specific stuff.
Yes.
Is This Anything shirts, Lou New Dude in the News shirts, different hosts, maybe here at WIBC Incorporated. So the store is live. Buy away. And here's all we ask. Once you get your Hammer and Nigel show gear, if you see somebody else out in public wearing it, it's your job, your civic duty as an American, to point at them and go, I love that shirt, or I love that hat. It'll be the way that we all know who listens to the program. So if you're out somewhere and you've got the Hammer and Nigel show baseball hat on and somebody says, hey man, I love the hat, you know he's one of us. He's a Hamroid. He's a Nigerian. Get your stuff right now. Share the link. We've got it on our social media at Hammer and Nigel, store.hammerandnigel.com. Check out the gift shop, if you will, man. We've been working on this for a while, and this is kind of by popular demand. It's cheesy and cliche to say that, but every time we do an event somewhere and we meet listeners, hey, man, I want to get a Hammer and Nigel show t-shirt. Now you can. And we've got an array of colors, different types of shirts, V-necks, t-shirts, hoodies, hats. Check out the Hammer and Nigel show store and rock the gear.
Love it.
Hope you enjoy it. Now, another fun announcement we have made comes on the heels of something the Pacers and the NBA are doing. So the NBA this year has decided, you know what? We want a piece of the excitement that the NCAA basketball tournament brings, college basketball. So the NBA is doing this in-season tournament thing. So in November of this year, the NBA is going to have like an in-season tournament. So that got us to thinking here at the show, what can we do to kind of piggyback off of that? Today we are announcing an in-season version of Biden Madness. Will begin in November.
Yes.
This will be the third edition of Biden Madness, and this one is special. It's going to be Biden versus Kamala. So each day in November, there will be a Joe Biden clip going head-to-head with a Kamala Harris clip until one champion remains. So Biden v. Kamala, Biden Madness 3, the in-season tournament, is coming in November. So if you have any questions, reach out to us here at the show. You can email us, hammerandnigel@wibc.com. Nige, with all of this good news that we're rolling out here, here's another piece of great news. It's a very special anniversary in our country. It was 1 year ago today, August 16th, 2022, that President Biden signed into law the Inflation Reduction Act.
They don't even call it that anymore. It should have been the Green New Deal.
That's what it was.
That's really what it was. A bunch of climate change BS.
They changed the name of the Green New Deal, who even Pelosi thought was crap. Remember, she called it the Green Dream or something.
Yeah, she rolled her eyes like, yeah, the Green Dream or whatever.
1 year ago today, that was signed into law. And Joe Biden says that wages are growing faster than inflation. That's Bidenomic.
We pay for low-wage workers has grown at the fastest rate in 2 decades. Wages are growing faster than inflation. Folks, that's Bidenomic.
Okay, a couple things here with that. Number one, real wages are down 3% since Joe Biden took office. So let's not get it twisted. But number two, I believe there's supposed to be an S at the end of that. It's Bidenomics with the S at the end. It's not just Bidenomic.
Folks, that's Bidenomic.
It reminds me of that like hip hop song from the late 80s, JJ Fad, Supersonic.
Supersonic.
Bidenomic.
Bidenomic.
All right, if we're going to do this, let's do it right.
All right.
Let's mix up the two and see how it sounds. Allison?
Bidenomic. Bidenomic.
Well, here we go. I think I like it. I think that's a hit.
Bidenomic.
Joking aside, though, since Joe Biden took office, prices of goods and services up 16.9%. Real wages down 3%. And gas is up $1.48 a gallon.
Yeah.
You were telling me the other day that you had to go fill up the big Laskowski mobile.
Yeah. Three quarters of a tank at $3.99 a gallon cost me close to $80. I wasn't even on an E. Yeah. It's so when it goes down a quarter, Biden will do a victory lap. When it goes through the roof, Biden will blame the Russians.
Right, 100%. It's Putin's war when the gas prices go high, but when they dip down a little bit from record levels, it's Bidenomic. That's what it is. Biden, speaking yesterday at that same press conference where we got the JJ Fad super remix from, Bidenomic, gave us some words that I don't think I've heard in a while. I don't think I've ever heard this word ever. Mm-hmm. I think it's time for another appearance from the Gibberish Man.
Oh. And now, time for another conversation with Gibberish Man. He's the Gibberish Man. He's the Gibberish Man. He talks in gibberish, Gibberish Man. Oh, you can't understand the Gibberish Man because he talks in gibberish, Gibberish Man. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Gibberish Man.
But then, when I signed the bipartisan infrastructure again, which bipartisan infrastructure. Bipartisan infrastructure. Bipartisan infrastructure.
What? The Gibberish Man, because he talks in gibberish, Gibberish Man.
That's one of the best of the worst I've heard.
That may make its way into the in-season tournament of Biden Madness this year.
Can I hear it isolated without the music?
But then, when I signed the bipartisan infrastructure again, which...
Now, I have no idea what the hell he's trying to say, but I've got the official transcript that's been provided. Allison, can you please read the official transcript and then play the isolated clip right after that?
But then, when I signed the bipartisan infrastructure again, which?
But then, when I signed the bipartisan infrastructure again, which...
Nigel, you try reading the transcript here.
But then, when I signed the bipartisan infrastructure administration again, which?
But then, when I signed the bipartisan infrastructure again, which?
I'm not saying the which quick enough.
I think it's kind of impressive, actually.
Let me give it a shot here.
Yeah, you try it.
But then, when I signed the bipartisan infrastructure again, which?
But then, when I signed the bipartisan infrastructure again, which?
Another appearance from the Gibberish Man here on the Hammer and Nigel show.
Take a little trip this summer in a Hubler quality pre-owned vehicle. Indiana has over 20 state parks, so camp, swim, or just enjoy the best scenery the country has to offer. We want you to see it all. That's why every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Shop any of Hubler's 12 locations or visit drivehubler.com and choose from over 1,000 vehicles. Chevy, Ford, GMC, Buick, Nissan, Acura, Mazda, Honda, and many more. All makes, all models, certified vehicles, luxury vehicles, even the hard-to-find ones. Plus, every Hubler Q-certified vehicle includes a 128-point vehicle inspection and a free Carfax history report. Take a little trip this summer because Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles. So what drives Indiana? DriveHubler.com. For over 1,000 vehicles, visit any of our 12 locations. Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
Hey Hoosiers, it's your Congressman Greg Pence. Let's get straight to the point. Joe Biden's policies are not working for the average Hoosier. Inflation is absolutely still out of control. I'm putting Hoosier values first. Promoting energy independence, opposing woke policies, and fighting for our families is my focus. To learn more about my efforts, go to pence.house.gov.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Right now, take advantage of Rhino Shield's summer savings. Get $1,000 off plus 0% interest for 18 months.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Design it before you buy it. For a limited time, receive 40% off all products, plus a free entry door, and 20 months, no interest, no payment.
Trust me.
There's a lot of sexy content on the internet. And there's WIBC, full of faces meant for radio. Hammer and Nigel, Kendall and Casey. Okay, Casey could be on TV. Now streaming every day on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/WIBC.
Again, the Hammer and Nigel Show merchandise store is open online right now. Store.hammerandnigel.com. Don't put the www up there. It just makes things complicated. Store.hammerandnigel.com. T-shirts, hoodies, pint glasses, and we got a lot more stuff to add later. This is just the initial rollout. It's on our social media at Hammer and Nigel, Facebook and Twitter. So if there's a Hammer and Nigel fan in your family, perfect gift. If there's somebody that's a Bernie Sanders fan, this is an even better gift to buy that person. Buy some gear right now. Matt Bear, what's up?
Southside Jam, eastbound 465. Oh, baby, stay out of this. We are jammed right now, Kentucky Avenue over to 65 with a disabled vehicle in the middle of the interstate. Right now, center lane is blocked. Delay time is at 41 minutes from the back of the line. Inbound 65 stops at MLK down to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70 stop and go to downtown from Holt. And northbound 465 on the northwest side jammed before 86th Street to 865. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Design it before you buy it at bwindow.com. And now for a limited time, get 40% off all products, a free entry door plus 20 months, no interest, no payments. Trust me. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Somebody on the YouTube chat, really? A V-neck? Chicks dig the V-neck because they like to showcase the goods.
I ordered a V-neck for me.
Dudes like the V-neck too. It works both ways, man.
Wait, is that a chick shirt?
I think it goes both.
Chick?
My wife prefers the V-necks.
I have a V-neck, Hammer and an old school, like back from the podcast days that I still wear.
And those people who remember our podcast days, those type of shirts will be coming out soon as well. It's a slow rollout here, but we wanted to get the logo gear out first. And man, I'm excited for this. And if you buy some gear and you want us to sign it, we'll figure out a way to make that happen. Right now, sunshine 81 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
Wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is. Living in the new world with an whole soul.
So that's Oliver Anthony, the breakout star who... he released that song, The Rich Man North of Richmond, talking about how the rich elite government people always are going to have the upper hand against the average working class man. I got into a little bit of trouble yesterday when Tony Kennett was filling in with you, Hammer. I said, I didn't really care for the song. I'm not going to download it on iTunes and listen to it over. It's just not my style of music.
You're not a big country guy.
No. I that's wrong. Really? I do like country. I like the 90s new hit country. I keep, if I am not listening to WIBC, I'm listening to Hank.
Okay.
Because all the other stuff out there just sucks right now. So it's either Hank or this radio station. So it's not that I don't even consider that country. That's something different, I think.
That's traditional kind of country. I feel
like it. Yeah. So I understand
that's like Waylon Jennings style.
Like
almost.
I understand the messaging here, and I understand why this guy is popular at the moment, but I just, I didn't care. It's not my jam. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Here is what Oliver Anthony would like us to learn from his song, Rich Men. I can't even say it. Rich Men North of Richmond.
We've really let ourselves focus too much on hate. We still want to hate each other. We want to find reasons to hate each other. In this moment in time, when so many people are feeling the same frustrations, it would be wonderful to capitalize on that and just use that positive energy to help other people in your life. Maybe people that are different than you, people that you wouldn't normally connect with. Everyone has a really interesting story if you just give them the time to talk. Find a way to start having good conversations with people that live around you.
So I think Hammer and Nigel Records needs to come out with our response. Sexy men south of Southport. I think that needs to happen. Sexy men south of Southport. Maybe we'll work on that from Hammer and Nigel Records. Can I get a moment of personal privilege, Big Nige?
Yeah, sure.
Yesterday,
Please.
I was off of this program, had a doctor's appointment, right? Things are okay. Blood pressure's a little high. I got to go back for blood pressure work. And
Did you get the finger?
No, that's coming up in October.
Ooh.
In October.
Wait, I'm talking about prostate exam.
Oh, no, not that.
They can do a blood test now. You don't have to-
Colonoscopy is going to be in October.
This will be your first?
This will be my first.
Oh, look at you.
Guess which date? Halloween. Trick or treat, fatty. Here it comes.
You're not going to be here for Halloween?
No.
All right, well,
I would rather be here for Halloween, trust me, but I got butt stuff going on.
The worst part about that is the preparation the night before. It's miserable. It's hell.
Oh, don't tell me that.
Absolutely.
Man.
Hell.
But blood pressure's a little high. I'm working on that. I've got the diet, relaunched right now, trying to be a little healthier.
Are they going to put you on some lisinopril or what, bud?
So this was me meeting with a new doctor yesterday for the first time. My old doctor left and got out the business or moved to another state or something.
He got tired of checking your prostate. So I can't do this again. Not another year with Hammer's ass in my face.
So the new doctor said, because this is our first visit, I want to make sure that we have another reading before we get you on any sort of blood pressure meds. So I'm going back Monday morning before the show. If my blood pressure is high, then I'll probably be going back on blood pressure meds.
Damn.
So if the day wasn't crappy enough, nobody ever likes going to the doctor. Our cat died last night.
Oh, man.
Tipsy, the fun, cute little rescue cat that jumped into our van at the baseball barn where Christopher used to work out at as a kitten, just jumped in the van, and Crystal brought him home. Passed away last night, just kind of curled up on the floor and never woke up.
I'm sorry, bud.
So last night, about 10 o'clock, I'm outside and I'm digging like a grave where the boys want to bury the cat. So they've got their phones out with like the flashlights. I've got the shovel. People are driving by. Neighbors are looking at me digging a grave in my yard last night. I can only imagine what people were thinking.
It's like the movie The Burbs with Tom Hanks.
Right.
Crazy neighbors that look like they were digging ditches at all hours of the night.
Hell, the neighbors in our street. Another one, huh? How many bodies you got in that yard, kid?
Was that the only option? Was the grave? I mean,
we didn't want to leave it sitting out in the house all night.
I know, I understand that, but
we didn't want to set it out outside because we didn't want some critter
but like a garbage bag.
It was in a garbage bag, but man, we get raccoons sometimes.
Yeah,
and I didn't want that to happen to the body.
So you didn't have to take it to the vet to be put down. It just died.
Right. It just curled up and passed away, man. So we buried it in the yard last night. This was the cat that was closest to my youngest, Jacob.
Man.
So he's handling it pretty well. I think he's putting on a brave face, but it was not a good day yesterday. I'm glad to be back here hanging out with all you guys. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hey, Casey, what's 12 times 3?
It's 36.
You're so good. Follow-up question. How would you like to get a 36% bonus when you invest your money? So, if you invest $100,000, you get a $36,000 bonus. If you invest $200,000, you get a $72,000 bonus.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. Not only can you get a 36% bonus, you also get a competitive return, an average of 7% a year for the past 10 years. Plus, your money is backed by one of the largest insurance companies in the world. To learn more, call Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy, at 317-932-9912.
This 36% bonus won't last long, so call 317-932-9912. 317-932-9912. Past performance is no guarantee of future returns.
This is another ad about hiring. But it's not just another ad about hiring. R.E. Diamond & Associates has opened a special position, plumbing designer for the right person. If you're well-versed in plumbing and fire protection systems, proficient using codes and standards, Revit, and have an analytical mind, this might be the right fit for you. If you bring the experience, deep understanding of the construction process, and outstanding communication skills, R.E. Diamond will meet you with competitive pay, a great benefits package, and a work culture and environment that's second to none.
Hi, this is James Darnell, Vice President of Information and Communications Technology with R.E. Diamond.
Diamond & Associates. We were just voted one of the best places to work in Indiana. Our expertise, integrity, and organizational culture make us a great place to continue building your career. We emphasize service and respect for our clients and pride ourselves on having the majority of our clients as repeat ones.
To find out more, Google RE Diamond. That's RE Diamond. Or to speak with an RE Diamond representative, call 317-634-4672.
Wealth-changing question. Has your advisor created a portfolio based only on your age and risk tolerance? That's simply not good enough. Your money deserves better, and so do you. At Creative Planning, our private wealth managers learn about you first, and then they create a customized plan and portfolio by partnering with our in-house money managers, accountants, and attorneys. Don't settle for a standard portfolio. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Reach your savings goals. Busey Bank CD specials can help. Watch your money grow with competitive rates and offers. Visit Busey.com/CD rates. Visit your local service center or call 1-800-67-BUSEY today. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. When a restaurant closes, my reaction is, that sucks. They had good steak. When regional banks close, or 3 of them close overnight, it freaks me out. This is why I have my own personal gold reserve. It's part of my personal protection plan. Call my friends at Oxford Gold Group. Call 833-404-GOLD. 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
If you're looking for the best Cuban food in Indy, it's Palavana Cubano at the Garage Food Hall in the Bottle Works district. And I'm telling you right now, the best sandwich in Indy is the Cuban Reuben. Every time you bite into that sandwich, it's a flavor explosion.
Yeah, Hammer, I'll see your Cuban Reuben and raise you the best lobster roll in the state over there at Jay's Lobster and Fish Market, again in the Garage Food Hall, Bottle Works district. And I promise you'll probably get addicted to their lobster mac and cheese as well. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Coming up in 2 minutes, how Mike Pence feels about a 4th Trump indictment and how Hoosier firefighters plan on helping out in Hawaii. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
He isn't declaring victory on the economy. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. But President Biden says the Inflation Reduction Act is working, marking 1 year since it became law.
It's taking the most aggressive action ever on climate energy, ever.
The president says investments in clean energy aren't just about the environment, but producing a manufacturing boom.
I've long said, when I think climate, not a joke, I think jobs.
Still, a majority of Americans are dissatisfied with the president's handling of inflation. And another key provision of the law, allowing Medicare to negotiate prescription drug prices, is facing legal challenges in federal court.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Republicans say the law is hurting families.
They used inflation reduction in a way to kind of give us the Trojan horse of the Green New Deal, which is why our energy costs continue to be very high, especially in rural areas, upstate New York, places where I live, where we have, abundant shale gas reserves, but we can't touch them.
New York Congresswoman Claudia Tenney says energy security is the biggest problem in the country and the world, and the only way to solve the debt crisis. A federal appeals court would keep restrictions on an abortion drug in place as a legal fight continues.
The Fifth Circuit U.S. Appeals Court's decision deals with the abortion drug mifepristone. The 3-judge panel, while overturning a Texas judge's decision revoking FDA approval of the drug, also said it can't be delivered by mail and that a doctor must be there to administer it. The final decision will be made by the U.S. Supreme Court.
Fox's Gernal Scott. The federal government pledging to do all it can for Hawaii.
This is also going to be a very long and hard recovery.
FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell says hundreds of staff have been deployed as a search continues for the missing on Maui, where the wildfires are now blamed for more than 100 deaths. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He says it wasn't rigged. 82 degrees, mostly sunny at the Circle, nothing at a radar, low of 61 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. Mike Pence spoke about election integrity when he was in town this morning. John Herrick reports.
Pence was at the Indiana Convention Center for the National Conference of State Legislatures Legislative Summit. He did touch on the fourth indictment of former President Trump, as well as Trump's claim that the 2020 presidential election was rigged.
Despite what the former president and his allies have said for now more than 2.5 years, and continue to insist to this very hour, the Georgia election was not stolen, and I had no right to overturn the election on January 6th.
He says during these times, it's important that the public gets the truth and to remember that no one is above the law. John Herrick, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
The three men who were found dead inside of an SUV parked outside of an IPS middle school Monday are suspected to have died from an overdose, says IMPD. They were found across the street from Jonathan Jennings School 109. A fourth man was found alive. Police say he was intoxicated, so he was sent to a hospital. 70 Central Indiana firefighters from Indiana Task Force 1 will be in Hawaii soon. They plan on helping out with search and rescue efforts after wildfires moved through Maui last week. An exact date on when they leave has not been set yet. School districts in Indiana are trying to find better ways to help low-performing students. Ryan Hetrick reports.
Thousands of young Hoosiers are struggling to stay engaged with their education, says Ray Saldana of Community and Schools.
Schools are dealing with more challenges than they ever had with students who are coming into the school. And so that is a public-private partnership.
His organization is offering millions of dollars in support and resources for Indiana schools. Right now, CIS helps 14 districts in Indiana, including Indianapolis. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
2 weak earthquakes were reported at the Indiana-Illinois border near Vincennes. The first was a 2.3 magnitude. That was registered Monday. A second 2.1 magnitude earthquake was then reported Tuesday afternoon in the same area. People in that region of the state likely didn't feel much. If anything, the earthquakes were considered shallow. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
Stop right now and ask yourself, what is most important to you? Hey, this is Casey Weed at Howard Bailey Financial, the official wealth management partner of Notre Dame Athletics. We believe in developing retirement plans driven by what is most important to you, your purpose. Then we can build what we call your financial life plan, made up of 4 main pillars: liquidity for emergencies, income to last a lifetime, flexibility to adapt, estate planning to maximize your legacy, and finally, tax planning to maximize what you can spend and pass on. To learn more about saving on your taxes, get your free digital tax guide. Just call or text TAX42 to 866-482-9559. That's TAX42 to 866-482-9559.
Notre Dame Athletics was compensated for this endorsement and is not a current client of Howard Bailey. For more information, please visit howardbailey.com/ND disclosure. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
With traffic on the 5s at 5:05. What's going on, Matt Bear?
Yeah, this is good, Harrison. Southside jailbreak going on. Eastbound 465. We were stopped from 7265. The stall is cleared. We are clearing out. Eastbound 70 jams right now. Sam Jones Expressway to Meridian, Illinois. Inbound 65. Stop and go traffic from the White River down to Meridian Penn. Northbound lanes also struggling from the north split to East 21st Street. Eastbound 465. Stop and go traffic before Westfield Boulevard over to Allisonville Road. Crash eastbound New York Streets and eastbound one-way at Rural. Traffic sponsored by Staples Stores. At Staples Stores, school savings are always in session, from art supplies and essentials to the latest tech in stock and priced low. School on, save on at your local Staples store. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Mostly to completely sunny skies as we move into the afternoon. Evening hours will continue clear on this Wednesday. Perfect conditions outside for a calm, comfortable, and cool evening. Low temperature near the 60-degree mark. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Renee Sutis for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos? So let's rock it!
It really makes me proud, Hammer, to see fellow Hoosiers leaving the state, leaving the comforts of home, leaving their friends and family, and departing to one of the hellish places in America. It's called Hawaii. It's been ravaged by wildfires in the Maui area. Indiana Task Force 1 headed to Hawaii. 70 Indiana firefighters. Task Force 1 going to Maui for support.
Normally, when you say they're heading to one of the worst places in America, Hawaii isn't the name that rolls off your tongue.
But then you see the devastation of those wildfires over the past week, and you think, okay, yeah, that probably is the worst place to be right now in, well, not the continental in the United States anywhere.
The border and Hawaii, both of them, just very tough places to do work. And what Task Force 1 is going to be tasked with is not an easy job at all. A lot of recovery, shall we say, because they're probably going to be doing some search and rescue. But in real reality, they're looking for bodies. Yeah. They're looking to help identify the remains that are left behind, the charred, burned remains.
You know, there's been over 100 bodies that have been recovered, and only a few have been identified. Think about that. There are people right now wondering where in the world their family members are, and you got to be thinking, if you haven't heard from them and you live in that area, they've got to be among the dead. And they can't bulldoze that area. They cannot begin to clean up. They can't begin to recover and clear out those areas that have been affected because of the fact that there may still be remains of people there that have died because of the wildfires.
I believe 2 members of Task Force 1 went last week, and now 70 additional members from various firefighter groups throughout central Indiana will be going to Hawaii. Now, Indiana Task Force 1, if you're not familiar with this kind of elite trained group, they're one of 28 groups in the United States are really well trained in urban search, rescuing. They're sponsored by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and FEMA. So these are the best of the best from every department that are getting the call to go over to help out in Hawaii.
And really, the bigger picture is the governor of Hawaii has said support and volunteers and donations and food and supplies have been pouring into that region. To the credit of our fellow countrymen. I mean, it sounds corny to say that to our fellow countrymen, but I love it. I love to see, and here in Indiana especially, these guys leaving the creature comforts of Indiana, their friends and family, to go help out the people that have just been completely wiped out over there.
And there are things bigger than politics. There comes a time where things are bigger than Republicans or Democrats. And you and I kind of talk about this every year when we help out with the Salvation Army, because the national leadership of the Salvation Army said some really woke things a couple of years ago, and that soured people. But at the end of the day, the money raised for organizations like that and the help provided from groups like Task Force 1 are helping out people who really need assistance, and they do not give a damn who you voted for last election.
It's funny you mentioned that. We keep breaking records when we do the radiothon. So right. People see past it. $1 billion. That's at least $1 billion has been estimated in insured losses for Hawaii. $1 billion.
I bet it goes higher than that. I mean, you got to think Hawaii is built on tourism. They're built on beautiful things. So when all of that goes away, man, that's a problem. I bet it's going to end up being more than $1 billion.
Over 2,000 structures have been damaged or destroyed, and 2,700 have at least been exposed. The losses are said to primarily impact property and casualty insurers. So that's where all that money's going, property and casualty.
Well, I'm glad that some money is going to actually help the United States as opposed to just sending it all to Ukraine. Now, this brings us to this little skirmish between Russia and Ukraine. Interesting story from Business Insider. I'm not sure if anybody caught this. According to the numbers, Russia got richer even as the war in Ukraine raged on last year, while the western part of the planet shed trillions of dollars in wealth. Russia added Russia added $600 billion in total wealth last year in this new report. Meanwhile, the United States and Europe, they spent trillions of dollars. This is from Swiss Bank reporting. The United States lost more wealth than any country on the planet last year, shedding $5.9 trillion, while North America and Europe combined to be 10.9 trillion poorer. Yet Russia added $600 billion worth of total wealth.
So what you're saying is the sanctions worked.
Russia's getting rich on this. All of our money is funding basically the budget for Ukraine. Our military gear is going to Ukraine. They're both winning from the United States on this. It doesn't make you some sort of crackpot to wonder, man, are these guys in this thing together just to drain the United States?
That was the idea for Russia. I thought our support for Ukraine was to drain Russia of wealth, of power, of influence, of the military. I thought it was to drain them, and you're saying they're $600 billion richer. Okay, great. Did you know? I'm going to give you a little piece of trivia here. Did you know that an American transgender woman is a spokesman for the Ukrainian military?
That makes 100% total sense. Because 99% of the trolls that we see on Twitter that come at us are probably transgender women who have the Ukrainian flag in their bio.
So there's this trans woman's broadcasts are intended to, quote, objectively cover the events of the Russian-Ukraine war. And this is according to the Ukraine's deputy defense minister. Here is Sarah Ashton Cirillo objectively covering the Russia-Ukraine war.
If you look at Putin's mouth, you'll notice that blood drips from it. He's a vampire, carrying out genocide against both Ukrainians and Russians alike. Vlad Putin bathes in the blood of innocent children and enjoys it. And this is why the dictator of the Russian Federation must be deposed, and why peace talks have to be focused on President Zelensky's 10-point peace formula and the full liberation of Ukraine.
And so that's, again, an American transgender
real?
woman. That's of course.
I didn't know if you had somebody from The Office do that like it was a parody. That's real?
That is an American transgender woman, according to Ukraine's deputy defense minister, the official spokesman, to cover the events of the Russian-Ukrainian war, quote, objectively and honestly.
If you look at Putin's mouth, you'll notice that blood drips from it.
Like, I don't like Vladimir Putin as much as the next guy, but this is ridiculous. And it's so on brand for Ukraine. And can I point something out to you, Nigel?
Yeah, of course.
I got some fun facts for you. I know a girl named Sarah Cirillo, but it's not this person. The Sarah Cirillo that I knew grew up on the South Side, and I believe is a bartender now.
Do you want to hear more?
Do I have to?
Again, this is the American transgender woman objectively covering the events in the Russia-Ukrainian war. This is a spokesman, according to Ukraine's deputy defense minister. Here is, again, Sarah Ashton Cirillo saying Russians aren't human.
Do you know the difference between us and them? Besides fighting under this flag and for freedom on behalf of the people of Ukraine, while the Russians are fighting for tyranny and dictatorship, it's pretty simple. We're human, and those guys most definitely aren't. Slava Ukraini.
And again, this is not the Sarah Cirillo from the South Side or anyone related to Cirillo Plumbing. Let me make that perfectly clear.
I'm just wondering, though, but this is somebody that's been hired by Ukraine to speak, quote, objectively to cover the events of this war. Does Ukraine have like a bizarre sense of what Americans are expecting? Like in terms of objective news and who is presenting that news? Do they see what's going on over here in America and saying, hey, we better hire a trans woman to objectively report what's going on? Because,
I can totally see that. I can see Zelensky kind of playing ball with that, too. I mean, if the Ukrainian people elected Zelensky, who was like a comedian who's dressed up in drag before for comedy bits and things, I guess they can bring in Mr. Sarah Cirillo to talk about blood coming out of Putin's mouth. All right, Matt Bear standing by with a look at the roads.
All right, Hammer, looking at northbound 465 on the northwest side. That is jammed now from 86th Street to 865. Southbound 65, it's miserable from MLK, a little before MLK down to the north split. They're fixing potholes right before the north split, and I'm told the center lane is blocked. This traffic jam on southbound 65 is running us 28 minutes. Eastbound 465 south side. The stall has cleared at I-65, but now we're stop and go from 70 over to Harding Street. Traffic sponsored by AllworthFinancial.com, helping thousands meet their retirement goals. Discover uncompromised wealth management because your financial future deserves better. Call 833-GO-ALLWORTH or visit AllworthFinancial.com to talk with a local advisor today. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
81 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
Little trip this summer in a Hubler quality pre-owned vehicle. Indiana has over 20 state parks, so camp, swim, or just enjoy the best scenery the country has to offer. We want you to see it all. That's why every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Shop any of Hubler's 12 locations or visit drivehubler.com and choose from over 1,000 vehicles. Chevy, Ford, GMC, Buick, Nissan, Acura, Mazda, Honda, and many more. All makes, all models, certified vehicles, luxury vehicles, even the hard-to-find ones. Plus, every Hubler Q-certified vehicle includes a 128-point vehicle inspection and a free Carfax history report. Take a little trip this summer because Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles. So what drives Indiana? DriveHubler.com. For over 1,000 vehicles, visit any of our 12 locations. Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
Hammer here from the Hammer and Nigel show. Raise your hand if you're ready to pay off some of these ridiculous credit card bills. I know I am. If you maybe took a summer vacation this year and you need a little help paying it off, or maybe you're trying to dig yourself out of previous debt, Loan Pronto is the place you need to go for help. LoanPronto.com, an amazing company and a great way to get cash fast. Listen, your home value is way up, and Loan Pronto can help you access that equity without touching your primary mortgage. You could get $50,000 or $100,000 out right now with Loan Pronto. And what I love about these guys, they do all the paperwork for you. You don't have to sit down and be confused on all the forms. They will do it all for you, supervised, and I'm telling you, this company is a game changer. LoanPronto.com, 317-953-6525. That's 953-6525. 953-6525, or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Have you ever thought that it's easier to be homeless in the summer? The reality, though, is that summer leaves our homeless neighbors vulnerable to dangers like dehydration and heat stroke. Thankfully, Wheeler Mission is here to help anyone in need of food, water, and shelter. When you give today, you may save a life. Donate now at WheelerMission.org. That's WHEELER mission.org. Thank you.
Tony Katz here for Premier Arms in Brownsburg. This is your premier gun store. Premier Arms has the experience and know-how to help the new gun buyer and the most experienced marksman. They've been in business for over 20 years and have a friendly, knowledgeable staff that wants to help you, not talk down to you. Premier Arms in Brownsburg is family-friendly, so bring the kids. All ages are welcome. Everyone can find what they're looking for at Premier Arms in Brownsburg, 3754 South Green Street. Online at premierarms.com. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. premierarms.com.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. When a restaurant closes, my reaction is, that sucks. They had good steak. When regional banks close, or 3 of them close overnight, it freaks me out. This is why I have my own personal gold reserve. It's part of my personal protection plan. Call my friends at Oxford Gold Group. Call 833-404-GOLD. 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
Turn to the experts at Howald Heating and Carrier for all your heating needs. Howald Heating, Air, and Plumbing, where coming home never felt so good. Online at howaldheatingandair.com.
Summer weather is finally here, and that means it's time for flip-flops, sandals, and your summer wardrobe. But for some people, it's the season of painful feet. Hi, this is Phoebe with the Good Feet store, and to keep you out of pain and having fun this summer, you need some great support in all those shoes you're wearing. Our patented arch support system has helped countless people find relief from foot, knee, hip, and back pain. Like Dale. Listen to his real Good Feet story.
This planet is so incredibly beautiful that I can't get enough of it. I did 950 miles on the Pacific Crest Trail, and Good Feet was with me all the way. Your passion's important, but if your body aches and if your heel feels like you've got a nail stuck in it and won't come out, trust me, it's going to wear you down. The Good Feet store knew what they were talking about and took the time to really dial in what I needed. I hiked 84 miles in the Himalaya and to do it pain-free. You think I'm not grateful for Good Feet?
So stop in today for your free personalized fitting and test walk and see what the Good Feet store can do for you this summer.
Are you really okay with this?
Are you okay? Everything's gonna be okay.
Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I'm pretty far from okay.
Are you okay with this? On the Hammer and Nigel show.
Oh, yeah!
White Castle has announced they have surpassed 29 billion sliders sold since launching the fast food industry in 1921. Are you okay with this, Hammer?
Am I okay with this? Am I okay with White Castle surpassing 29 billion sliders sold in this country? Nigel, hit my music.
And I'm proud to be an American.
Yes, I'm okay with this. This is why we are the greatest country on earth. White Castle. Say what you want about them. They're the butt of a lot of jokes, and you could make one when I said butt right there. But we've all relied on the castle at some point, right? So on behalf of everybody that's been overserved, that has came home late from work, late from a wedding, it's 2:00 in the morning, you're hungry from a night out of being with the guys, your options are limited. It's like Taco Bell, Waffle House, or White Castle.
Absolutely.
And those awesome little sliders just hit the spot. Just like Harold and Kumar taught us, these burgers are for everyone. So yes, this is absolutely something. And reason number 1,550, we are the greatest country on planet Earth. Turn it up.
Everybody, God bless the USA. Are you okay with this? A woman claims that she was verbally attacked by the person in front of her at Taco Bell drive-thru because they thought she was pulling a pay-it-forward scam. A pay-it-forward had been initiated, and when Meredith Donovan ordered $60 worth of Taco Bell, the person in front of her was triggered because she thought it was a scam to get her to pay for the big bill. Here's Meredith explaining what happened on TikTok.
I pulled up and placed my order, which was like $60 worth of Taco Bell. I'm on my phone and I just hear a car door slam, and I look up and this lady has gotten out of her car in front of me and is running towards my car screaming her head off. But I could hear what she was saying eventually, and I heard scam. Basically, the car before her paid for her meal. So she was going to be a good person and pay for the car behind her. But I guess the car didn't get behind her in time. And it actually was my expensive order for all my food.
You okay with this? Do you understand the scam or who thought they were getting scammed here?
Yes, I do. And the whole point of Pay It Forward is to create goodwill. But lately, it sounds like it's becoming more of a hassle and possibly a scam. We had a story not that long ago of the worker at I believe it was a Starbucks drive-thru, who was just pocketing the money himself.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, that's not really how this is supposed to work here. So So I'm not okay with this, but what I am okay with this story being a great segue into great moments in Taco Bell history. Dateline, Alabama, there was a popular Taco Bell that burned to the ground, and the local kids all got together for a vigil.
We're just out here giving remembrance. I mean, I think it was the best Taco Bell in Montgomery. I can't eat here.
I felt like I lost a family member.
Well, I'm hoping we get closure tonight and we can move on to the next cause. But we're here supporting Taco Bell tonight, and that's what's important.
I'm hurt. My feelings are hurt. I got to go all the way to Perry Hill to get some Taco Bell. Hurts my feelings.
I love they had a candlelight vigil for the charred remains of the burned down Taco Bell.
And by the way, I think you missed the part in the initial story here, the pay it forward scam story, is where this chick ordered $60 worth of Taco Bell.
Okay, I'm glad you bring that up, because great moments in Taco Bell history has the woman who was stuck behind the $300 order.
Oh my God.
Yo, the reason this line is so long, because this ordered $300 worth of tacos and didn't get Taco Bell no heads up. $300 worth of tacos. That's like 100 tacos.
$300 worth of Taco Bell, no heads up.
That makes $60 sound like a drop in the bucket. Yeah.
Great moments in Taco Bell history. Dateline, Philadelphia. Somebody tried to cut the line.
Or when are you guys gonna move?
Somebody cutting in front of somebody, taking advantage of the situation. No, I'm not. I'm calling the police because what you did is...
Oh my God, it's Taco Bell. It's Taco Bell. Like, everyone's gonna eat.
But how she just gonna cut in front of somebody?
It's not worth your energy.
There's a lot of horn honking going on there, and I know some folks can be triggered by honking horns.
Oh, sure.
So what we've done at the Hammer and Nigel show is we've removed the horns from that soundbite and replaced them with ducks quacking.
Or when are you guys gonna move?
Somebody cutting in front of somebody. I'm not. I'm calling the police.
It's Taco Bell. Like, everyone's gonna eat.
But how she just gonna cut in front of somebody?
It's not worth your energy.
Great moments in Taco Bell history here on the Hammer and Nigel show. Coming up next, a guy that was in this chair yesterday, Tony Kennett.
Oh, yeah.
You guys left a few topics on the table.
Yep,
so
let's get to them.
The Tonus, Tony Kennett, will join us coming up next. Do not go anywhere. We got the news right now.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He says no one is above the law. 83 degrees, mostly sunny in downtown Indianapolis. You've got a clear radar. Tonight's low down to 61. A few more clouds likely to move in as well. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:29. Former President Donald Trump has been indicted for a fourth time. But what does his former vice president think about it?
First principles are these. No one is above the law. And the president and all those implicated are entitled to the presumption of innocence that every American enjoys.
Mike Pence said the 2020 election was not stolen while speaking in Indy this morning. He's also running for president. He'll be at the first GOP primary debate later this month. 911 calls, gunshots, and a man killed. That's what state police say happened in Jeffersonville Tuesday night. John Herrick reports.
They say one person called police about a man named Richard Glass who was acting strange and saying that he was going back to prison. And then Glass called 911 claiming someone was trying to hack his phone. When police got to his apartment, they say they tried to talk to him, but nothing worked. Plus, he had a gun and fired it at them. A member of the SWAT team killed Glass. State police are looking into it. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
It's been 1 year since the Inflation Reduction Act was signed into law by President Biden.
We created more jobs in 2 years than any administration has in a single 4-year term. And I'm very proud.
Biden celebrating at the White House today. Inflation has gone down by more than 3% since the act was signed. Critics of Biden say there are other factors that have helped him out. The president also has a trip planned to Hawaii.
When the president travels, he's going to be able to bring hope, and he's going to speak with the governor and the state's first lady and talk to survivors and hear their stories. And it's that level of hope that I think is going to really be a positive impact for this community.
FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell. Several schools in Maui have reopened this week, says the Hawaii Department of Education. Several others, though, are still closed, being assessed for safety. A Veteran Affairs Clinic in northern Indiana has officially been renamed in honor of a former Hoosier Congresswoman. The Jackie Walorski VA Clinic in Mishawaka was unveiled today. Congressman Rudy Yoakum said Jackie fought tirelessly for veterans while she was in Congress, saying the honor was a fitting tribute to her legacy. Walorski died in a car crash last summer. And with traffic at 5:32, here's Matt Baer.
Yeah, Harrison, we just had a report of a crash on eastbound 70 near West Street. Right now, traffic is stop and go to Harding and then stopped back to Holt Road. Inbound 65, they're repairing potholes before the north split, really. Center lane is blocked right now, and traffic is stopped back past MLK to the White River. It's an awful delay. Looking at a crash eastbound New York at Rural Street, and then northbound 465 northwest side. Stop and go traffic 86th Street up to 865. Traffic sponsored by B-Window. Design it before you buy it at bwindow.com. And now for a limited time, get 40% off all products, a free entry door, plus 20 months, no interest, no payments. Trust me. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Mostly to completely sunny skies as we move into the afternoon. Evening hours will continue clear on this Wednesday. Perfect conditions outside for a calm, comfortable, and cool evening. Low temperature near the 60-degree mark. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Renee Sutis for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
The Hammer and Nigel Show. Hello, I'm Nigel. Hammer right over there with a special guest at the DriveHubler.com hotline.
He is an investigative reporter for the Daily Signal and soon to be the host of the Tony Kenneth Show here at 93 WIBC. The Tonus, Tony Kenneth, how are you?
I'm doing well, guys. Thanks.
First of all, thank you for pinch hitting for me yesterday. You and Nige driving the boat yesterday. If I've learned one thing from listening to you two together on the air, I've learned when you're writing articles during the show, Tony. I was listening yesterday, and I heard Nige fly off the handle at you because you were trying to write and type during the show.
Well, I wasn't even trying to write an article. I was responding to you because you really weren't a fan. You were supposed to be off, and yet you decided to get, let's say, up and stuffy about my unpopular opinions. So just trying to stay friendly with all the WIBC teams, you know.
You are kind of in a little Twitter spat with David Hogg. Now, David Hogg is one of those Parkland High School alums that were there during the mass shooting. Very anti-gun, very super liberal. For some reason, this guy's been lifted up on a pedestal as somebody whose opinion should matter. What are you fighting with him about?
So David Hogg is a progressive advocate and activist, and he is running around the country trying to tout a number of progressive policies, which, you know, is fine if you believe in progressive policies. That's your prerogative. However, it's what these are predicated on that's the problem. So one of the things he is very much against is voter ID laws. He says that voter ID laws are systemically racist. He says that Black and Hispanic people are unable to get IDs, which is quite the insult if you think about it.
It sounds incredibly racist to me to say that.
That is, yes, that does indeed sound incredibly racist and demeaning. But he decided to make a tweet because there's kind of a progressive tendency to say America is really behind the world. You know, a lot of countries, they're more progressive than everywhere else. Apparently, if you leave the U.S., everywhere else is just Candyland utopia. And he made a tweet in which he said that unlike the rest of the world, the United States was one of the only countries that required people to register in order to vote, which
I even know off the top of my head that is the furthest thing from the truth I've ever seen in a tweet.
Well, he was fact-checked pretty much immediately by the Twitter community notes system, which cited several articles showing that over half of the world's countries, including like 99% of republics or democracies, require vote registration. However, Venezuela, the communist dictatorship, does not require registered voting. Then again, there's only one option on the ballot.
Well, yeah, right. And things are going very well in Venezuela, as we all know.
Yeah, your starvation is great this time of year.
And this kid got into Harvard. Who did not get into Harvard? Who had the academic resume because activist David Hogg stole their spot?
Oh, you mean the Asian students that Harvard discriminated against because there were too many Asians there? The Jewish students they discriminated against because they had too many Jewish students there? Oh, those would be who David Hogg replaced.
And these people never come back and try to correct themselves, or sometimes they'll delete the posts, but they never kind of respond. I mean, that's just such an embarrassing, stupid tweet to put out there, and to be immediately fact-checked by X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it is humiliating. I would think that kid would be delete your account, dude.
So I have a kind of a story concerning this. The very second article that I ever wrote was called "The Libertarian Case Against Prostitution," and it was a very awful article. I had no idea what I was talking about. I had no idea at the time what libertarian policy really was and where it came from. It was a bad article, and I got roasted when it was published. I mean, roasted, toasted, flipped, and basted. It was awful, and I apologized for the article, and it's still up today, by the way, because I don't believe in deleting your articles. And that was a learning experience, but I owned my mistake. It was a garbage article. And no, you don't see progressive journalists like Dave Hogg saying when they're wrong. They just kind of pretend it never happens and develop a case of acute selective deafness.
Speaking of Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, there was a post by the White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre.
Oh, she's historic, you know. Very historic.
Here is what she said in a recent post. Investing in America means investing in all of America.
Okay.
When I ran for president, I made a promise that I would leave no part of the country behind.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
That was under @PressSec. When I ran for president, I made a promise. I mean, really, that kind of blunder, somebody forgot to switch accounts, that blunder is sort of indicative. That's emblematic of the entire Biden administration, don't you think?
No, I'll say two things. I run the Daily Signal Twitter account. I also run this account called the U.S. Ministry of Truth. It's a parody satire account.
Yes.
And very occasionally, I will accidentally tweet something that was meant to go for the Daily Signal from the Ministry of Truth account. And then I notice what I did, and I delete it about 2 minutes later. However, if you're, say, running the social media accounts for the most powerful people in the world, perhaps, just perhaps, you pay your social media staff enough money so that they don't make those kind of mistakes. I mean, this is also the confirmation that Biden, I mean, we already knew this, but that he doesn't run his own Twitter account. You knew with President Trump that no matter what, he was the one tweeting from that account. Biden can't even hold a phone, and this is just proof of it. So congrats to Biden on being the first black lesbian president. I always knew he could.
Glass ceiling shattered, ladies and gentlemen.
And by the way,
it was going to be Obama.
U.S. Ministry of Truth, a must follow there on X, @USMiniTrue. Is the handle there.
Hey, Tonis, when you and Nige were on yesterday, did you guys have a little back and forth about Vivek Ramaswamy? Because we played some audio earlier in the show of him and Neil Cavuto kind of bumping heads. Cavuto's on Fox, but he's kind of a liberal guy. He's an anti-Trumper. So there's a lot of people bringing their eyeballs to Vivek Ramaswamy. I didn't get a chance to hear the whole thing. I had a doctor's appointment yesterday. What's your take?
So my take is actively changing because I've spoken to a lot of his staff. I've had several long conversations. I've been paying very close attention to what he's been up to. He is starting to take the number 2 slot in polling in a lot of places. And I got to be honest, I originally, given some of his flip-floppity comments back in the day, I really didn't like him. I'm starting to turn around because Nigel and I were kind of going back and forth on the really great things that he said to media, why people like him. And I got to tell you, the more that I see, like I haven't even heard this Neil Cavuto thing yet, but if he's spatting with Neil Cavuto, man, he sounds like my kind of guy.
Yeah, Cavuto was upset that Vivek Ramaswamy is still in Trump's corner and even said that if he became the president, he would offer a pardon for Donald Trump in case he did get sent to federal prison. And man, Neil Cavuto, you could actually hear his panties getting in a wad.
Ew.
I've said this. So you have both DeSantis and Ramaswamy who have basically said at this point that they would pardon Trump if there was federal prison involved. Of course, they don't have authority to pardon him if he's in a state prison, like in the Georgian case. However, I've said there are a lot of people who are way bigger fans of Trump than I am, way bigger fans. And they are very good friends of mine. They have great reasons for supporting Trump. I do think that he's going through a political hit job. And if you don't like Trump, you don't want him to win the primary, that's fine. But I swear, some people like Cavuto have this weird obsession with people who still like Trump. And I don't get it. Like, people like the guy because he fights on their behalf. And getting mad at Vivek for saying that he's going to intervene in what has been undoubtedly a political hit job, I mean, it's just going to make Vivek more popular, as it should.
So on the other side of the political aisle, you've got another all of a sudden media darling in RFK Jr. The same way that Vivek's star is kind of rising, a lot of people are just now discovering RFK Jr. And I'll ask you the same question. What's your take when it comes to him?
I absolutely despise this man, and if he could completely fade from public life, everyone would be better for it. But I don't dislike him for the same reason that, like, the quote-unquote establishment don't like him. The establishment don't like him because he says a lot of federal agencies are corrupt, and that a lot of federal agencies basically should be abolished and things like the CIA. I don't have a problem with him saying that. I do have a problem with him lying. And I don't mean lying as in he kind of bends the truth. I mean, I have watched videos of him live where he has literally changed his story like 4 times in about 2 minutes. And again, not like small changes, huge changes. Oh, I didn't know about it. Oh, my press secretary scheduled it. Oh, no one on my staff knew about it at all. Oh, we knew about it, then we changed our minds. He's done that on abortion. He's done that on Moms for Liberty. He has fully endorsed Ted Kennedy's voting record on Big Pharma, yet he says he's against Big Pharma. He's just a populist. He will say whatever is popular, and the second there is backlash, he will change his mind. I know a lot of people don't like me saying that, because he says punchy things they like. But unlike Donald Trump or DeSantis or Vivek, who stick to their guns when things get rough, RFK Jr. just seems to kind of go wherever the wind blows.
Can you stick around for a second break?
You got it.
Wanted to ask you about your thoughts of where Joe Hogsett was during the riots and how he was asked about that in the Indy Star. We'll get to that next with Tony Kinnett here on the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, above your eyes, below your eyes, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor, you've visited urgent care over and over again, and it's always the same thing. Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and nasal sprays. But the sinus infections keep coming back. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of Indianapolis Sinus Center called balloon sinuplasty. Imagine the relief of not having to deal with your sinus infections anymore. Set an appointment today with Indianapolis Sinus Center and find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Call 317-528-9650. 317-528-9650. That's 317-528-9650.
Hey, if you're thinking about getting new windows, if you're thinking about replacing those old, drafty, gross, cracked, hard-to-open windows, don't do anything until you've called Window Nation. You call this week, you get an extra 10% off your order. Plus, no money down, no payments, no interest for 2 years, and you get 50% off all style windows, and again, an extra 10% off your order. 1-866-90-NATION or windownation.com.
This is the deal. This is it. 0, 0, 0 for 2 years. 0 money down, 0 payments, 0 interest for 2 full years. Plus, get 50% off all style windows. Any style that you want, Get that locked up, make your home look amazing, and watch your energy bills lower with these energy-efficient windows. If you don't believe me, call them. Window Nation will answer any question you have. 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com, but tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Hey, Casey, what's 12 times 3?
It's 36.
You're so good. Follow-up question. How would you like to get a 36% bonus when you invest your money? So, if you invest $100,000, you get a $36,000 bonus. If you invest $200,000, you get a $72,000 bonus.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. Not only can you get a 36% bonus, you also get a competitive return, an average of 7% a year for the past 10 years. Plus, your money is backed by one of the largest insurance companies in the world. To learn more, call Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy, at 317-932-9912.
This 36% bonus won't last long, so call 317-932-9912. 317-932-9912. Past performance is no guarantee of future returns.
If you're looking for the best Cuban food in Indy, it's Palavana Cubano at the Garage Food Hall in the Bottle Works district. And I'm telling you right now, the best sandwich in Indy is the Cuban Reuben. Every time you bite into that sandwich, it's a flavor explosion.
Yeah, Hammer, I'll see your Cuban Reuben and raise you the best lobster roll in the state over there at Jay's Lobster and Fish Market, again in the Garage Food Hall, Bottle Works district. And I promise you'll probably get addicted to their lobster mac and cheese as well. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. Hammer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
The LASIK Vision Institute is making LASIK even more affordable. Get 20% off LASIK when treated in August. That can be over $900 off when treating both eyes. Plus, guaranteed financing. Visit getlvilasik.com for details.
The Home and Garden Show hits the road again this Saturday. Join us at Sullivan Hardware and Garden Center at 71st and North Keystone from 9 to 1 for live music, big green egg demonstrations, and lots of food during Indy Egg Fest with Sullivan Hardware and Garden and 93 WIBC.
Matt Baer has a look at the roads.
Yeah, they are filling potholes on southbound 65 before the north split. It's blocking the center lane, and the traffic jam is terrible. Stop to the White River and almost to 38th Kessler Boulevard. That's 56 minutes. Crash at 71st and Michigan Road. Eastbound 465 jams before Westfield Boulevard over to Allisonville Road. Crash east side Shadelet Avenue at Penn Pike. Traffic sponsored by B-Window. Design it before you buy it at bwindow.com. And now for a limited time, get 40% off all products, a free entry door, plus 20 months, no interest and no payments. Trust me, I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
81 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
Let's get
Back with Tony Kennett, investigative reporter for the Daily Signal. You and I got into this a little bit with Tony Katz yesterday. I wanted to get your personal thoughts on that milquetoast question from the Indy Star to Joe Hogsett as to his whereabouts during the 2020 social justice riots. The reporter really didn't ask where he was. She was just asking kind of why are people making a big deal out of this? And his response was basically like, well, hey, look, I set up a panel. They said there was nothing wrong, and it's a political question.
I would be fired so fast if I was asking a question concerning a major political individual in office or perhaps a major executive of a corporation, and instead of asking them a question that was on everyone's minds, I gave them this softball pitch. Well, I heard there are some people who are like kind of like mad at you or whatever. Like, what do you have to say to those haters who like don't like you? That was the question. I was like listening to junior high girls bickering. Was this Indy Star reporter? So first of all, ask the question. So where were you? Because if you really believe in Joe Hogsett, if you're on the left, then he should be able to answer the question, which, by the way, I throw the same thing on the right towards Trump. Some of the harder questions, like what is the plan to stop the steal in 24, ask him that question. He should be able to answer it if Trump really is all that you say he is.
And Tony, the other thing is, let me jump in here real quick, Tony. This city is so soft on its media. Outside of WIBC, This has not even been brought up to the mayor. These people have access. All of these stations have investigative reporters. There's that goober over at Channel 13. All of these
Mr.
stations
Dumpster Diver.
have investigative reporters. I would think it warrants an investigation. Who was calling the shots? Where was the mayor when the city was under siege?
So I have received pushback at times from members of certain political groups and other organizations that are local whenever I start digging a little too close to home. And they want to do all of this backdoor stuff and provide me all of these kind of cushy nods if I'll just leave certain details out of a story. It's happened in Indiana. It happened in Wisconsin. It's happened in stories in Ohio and Texas. The journalistic answer, if you really are an honest-to-God journalist, is no. I'm going to run the story because those are the facts. However, you have a lot of people from 6 and from 59 and from 13 and the Indy Star who are going to have their job no matter what it is that they write. And so they kind of put a cotton ball on the end of their pencil so that everything they write's a little softer, because we don't want to get the Democrat establishment mad, because then they might not like me because they are very liberal press organizations. You and I we all know that Hogsett didn't care about the safety of Indianapolis citizens while businesses were burning down, while windows were being shattered. You guys, we all know that. Hogsett said it through his policies, but you're not going to see someone at Channel 13 ask the question because there's a lack of testicles at Channel 13.
And on that note, we will let you go. Check him out at the Daily Signal, and coming soon to the WIBC lineup, the Tony Kennett Nightly program. Tony, you're the best. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Do you have a wet basement problem? Are you tired of cleaning it up after every rain? Hi, I'm Mike Smith with Swain Co. Crawl Space and Basement Repair, a real, local, Indiana family-owned company. Even a small amount of water in your basement can lead to a huge amount of problems. Don't let your wet basement problem get worse. Call Indy's most trusted basement waterproofer, Swain Co. Crawl Space and Basement Repair at 317-407-1868 or swaincollc.com. And ask about our easy, no-interest, no-payment financing.
Denny Smith here for Sundown Gardens. Sundown's gearing up for the fall season with lots of great nursery product available, so come shop now to be on schedule for fall planting. It's still a great time to plant perennials. Planting now gives them plenty of time to establish a root system before winter arrives. And visit Miss Mary's Gift Shop for great home accents, fall decor, house plants, and more. Now's a great time to get a landscape consult for fall installation as well. All of this at Sundown Gardens at 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, sundown.gardens.com. Hi, this is Denny Smith, and summertime's a great time to upgrade your water equipment, and C&J Water has some great upgrade specials right now. Upgrade to a twin tank softener and get a free reverse osmosis drinking water unit. Right now, you can also save 15% on any water quality equipment at C&J, ultraviolet systems, iron and sediment systems, single tank softeners, and reverse osmosis units. Such a deal. C&J really does install the best of the best. So call C&J for yours today. Call 317-733-SOFT or cnjwater.com.
At DeLong Landscaping, their goal is to create the best curb appeal and outdoor living space for you. That could mean landscape design and installation, retaining walls, outdoor lighting, pergolas, and fire features. DeLong Landscaping specializes in pavers, concrete, stamped concrete, and decks. Google DeLong Landscaping, find them on Facebook, or call them today to schedule your free estimate at 317-667-5163. That's DeLong Landscaping at 317-667-5163.
There are more identity threats than you realize. Even if you monitor your credit, only a little personal info needs to leak out, like your social security number or password.
For you to become a victim.
LifeLock alerts you to threats you could miss. If your identity is stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS. Go to LifeLock.com.
Watch parties aren't what they used to be.
Welcome to today's matinee.
Ever since we got Xfinity, my little sister and her friends can easily stream all their favorite stuff.
We'll start with 2 episodes of Top Chef, then Chopped.
When I was a kid, we'd worry about buffering. Now they just worry about what's on the charcuterie board.
Enjoy these fine meats and cheeses.
These are just cut up hot dogs and spray cheese.
Indeed.
The best way to stream your favorites is on the Xfinity 10G network. Introducing the best value in live TV and streaming on the best network with Xfinity Internet and Now TV. Now through August 28th, get internet on the Xfinity 10G network for $30 a month for 12 months with no annual contract. Plus, add Now TV with Peacock Premium, a $5.99 a month value included at no extra cost for just $20 a month. Switch today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Now TV requires Xfinity Internet. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Stream Top Chef on Peacock.
Have you ever dropped off your documents for shredding and wondered what happened to them? At Quick Shred, documents are shred right in front of you at their retail location on East 62nd Street. No appointment needed and convenient curbside assistance is provided. No matter how big or how small, they shred it all. You leave knowing your confidential information has been completely destroyed. Quick Shred is open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 and Saturdays, 9 to 2. Quick Shred at 62nd and Binford Boulevard. Quick Shred.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio, brought to you by Everwise Credit Union. Discover the financial solutions to control your money and your business at everwisecu.com. I'm Alex Brown. Hard Truth Distilling in Brown County is partnering with the newly created Mellencamp Whiskey Company to release a new whiskey collection specifically celebrating and supporting Hoosier farmers. Hard Truth Master Distiller Brian Smith said the partnership was a no-brainer.
The Mellencamp history of being involved with Farm Aid, with John being the founder of Farm Aid, there was just a lot of convergence in how we look at partnerships with farmers and different things like that.
4 collector's edition whiskeys will be released over the next 2 years, the first of which will be released in September. Mellencamp Whiskey Company was founded by John Mellencamp's son Hud and his business partner Levi Collison. While John is not involved in the endeavor, his artwork will be featured as a backdrop on the bottles of the limited edition collection. Greenfield-based logistics and trucking company Online Transport has acquired AT Transportation and its automated logistics division based in the Du Bois County town of Ferdinand. Financial terms of the deal are not being disclosed, but Online said it plans to add about 50 jobs in southern Indiana. Indiana students' reading scores have been virtually unchanged for 3 years, according to new test data, underscoring fears about students' struggles to recover from the pandemic. More than 4 out of 5 third graders, just under 82%, passed the Indiana reading exam, known as iRead, in 2023. From the #1 source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Central Indiana continues to grow and attract new businesses. Commercial construction is everywhere. If you want to learn more about all the new projects, plan to join IBJ on Friday, September 8th for our annual Commercial Real Estate Power Breakfast. Moderator Mickey Shuey and a panel of experts will discuss why this construction is necessary for Indiana and the state's economy and what we can expect in the future. You can RSVP or reserve a corporate table by September 1st at ibj.com/events.
Julie Heath has been named the inaugural executive director of Indiana University's new Innovation Hub, which will assist students and faculty in launching startups. The hub will kick off this fall and will be based on the IU Bloomington campus, but will be open to faculty and students at all IU campuses. Heath most recently served as the vice president of entrepreneurial ecosystems at the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. I'm Alex Brown for 93 WIBC.
Coming up in 2 minutes, what Mike Pence says he'll do if he winds up in the White House. A couple of earthquakes were reported in Indiana this week, and how one organization wants to help Hoosier students who are struggling in school. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You got temperatures in the lower 80s, sunny downtown. You're listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 6 o'clock.
A FEMA shelter now open. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. The first disaster recovery center on the island of Maui is now open to help the victims of last week's devastating wildfires, where people can get information about assistance from multiple federal agencies.
Thousands of displaced people are now staying in vacation rentals, hotel rooms, and shelters. Others are dealing with poor cell service and intermittent power. FEMA officials